Good afternoon and welcome to our coverage of the Premier League encounter. It's West Ham United and they're taking on Arsenal in the Premier League this afternoon. I'm Russ Vernon and I'm your host for this game today. We've just got a closing session in our studio here in Yorkshire, watching the end of Coventry City against Millwall in the Championship, where there's 3 minutes of stoppage time in the end of this Championship encounter. Millwall were leading by a goal to the commentary have turned it around. They now lead 2-1 going into stoppage time. As Coventry have just won themselves a free kick. We'll turn our attentions to the Premier League. There were some good games in the Premier League yesterday. I will tell you those scores in just a moment. But let's get the team news for our featured match this afternoon. And let's bring you in your match commentator, Sunday Match Watch this one. It's Paul James.
Yeah, thank you. Good afternoon, Ross. Good afternoon, everybody, or good evening, good morning, wherever you're listening from. West Ham have gone unchanged, so they've kept faith in the side that lost 3-0 to Manchester United at Old Trafford on February the 4th. For Arsenal, well, they've made 2 changes. Alexander Zinchenko drops out, and he misses out completely. He's not at all in the starting lineup, and Jakub Kiwior has stepped into his place. Jorginho has gone out. Kai Havertz has dropped back to his more favoured role on the left side of midfield, with Leandro Trossard playing through the middle. And that's your team news for today.
Thank you very much, Paul. James, just before we get into this game and the build-up to the match that we're covering this afternoon from the Premier League, let's just tell you what's happened on Saturday afternoon in the Premier League, with the full-time scores from Saturday the 10th of February 2024. Manchester City 2, Everton 0. Fulham 3, Bournemouth 1. Liverpool 3, Burnley 1. Luton Town 1, Sheffield United 3. Tottenham Hotspur 2, Brighton Hove Albion 1. Wolverhampton Wanderers 0, Brentford 2. Nottingham Forest 2, Newcastle United 3. Were yesterday's scores in the Premier League. I was at a game yesterday afternoon in the Championship, where I was at Ellen Road as Leeds United took on struggling Leeds United in their quest for promotion, Fulham's quest to stay in the division. Leeds United won by 3-0 thanks to Patrick Bamford's first-half strike, and the second-half brace, including one from the penalty spot from Crescencio Somerville. And I fell in love with the channel we've got for Leeds United's left back at the moment, Junior Firpo. I will not sing it because I don't want to get taken off air, as there's some swearing involved in that chant, so I will not mention the chant in full. I'll probably tell Paul later when we finish on air what that chant is, so you can hear that chant. This afternoon, some games going off, other games in the Premier League later on. Today's Aston Villa against Manchester United. Some Premier League 2 action taking place today, which is the under-21s, which is Man City, who are trailing by 3-1 against Wolves at this moment in time, with 86 minutes. All called that Liverpool take on Stoke at 2 p.m. in that game, so that kicks off same time as the West Ham. This is also going to be up to date with that. There's some Women's FA Cup action taking place today. Arsenal 0, Man City 0 on 65 minutes, and half time is Wolverhampton Wanderers 0, Brighton Hove Albion 1 in the Women's FA Cup. Quite a few games kicking off at 2 o'clock as well today. Chelsea against Crystal Palace, London City Lionesses versus Liverpool, Southampton against Manchester United, and then one kicks off at 4 o'clock. Nottingham Forest versus Everton. Some games in Ligue 1 in France, German Bundesliga, Italian Serie A, Dutch Eredivisie as well, Scottish Premiership, Scottish Cup, which is their FA Cup, and La Liga, which I'll tell you about a little bit later on. Full time in the Championship, in the game that we've been watching here in the Yorkshire-based studios. Coventry City have come from behind to beat Millwall by 2-1. Millwall see remaining 18th place following that defeat at the CBS Arena this afternoon. And with Coventry City, which we'll be able to say in just a second, they now move up into the playoff. Still a long way off to catching the top 3, well, catching the top 4 in the division. which is Ipswich Town in 4th, Leeds United in 3rd, Southampton in 2nd, and Leicester City romping away at the top of the Premier League table. The Premier League Championship table as they look to get back to the Premier League, should I say. Some great matches in the Premier League today, including this one that we've got coming up. Just a bit of a match preview for you regarding this game. West Ham United are winless with their last competitive fixtures, 6 competitive fixtures, when that began after they beat Arsenal 2-0 just before Christmas. And as David Moyes was still trying to find positive outlook for their 3-0 defeat to Manchester United last week, and was their joint second heaviest margin of defeat in their league campaign so far. And he pointed out to mitigating circumstances in his side's demise. Those circumstances perhaps include the missing influential duo of Lucas Paquetá through injury, Mohamed Kudus to AFCON for 4 games, yet the Hammers remain in contention for European qualification, albeit only losing 2 of their last home games fixtures this term. 5 wins, 4 draws at home. They're also unbeaten across the last 6 games at the London Stadium, winning 3, drawing 3 from the last 5, which produced under 2.5 goals. In contrast, Arsenal are very nice, Chris, beating Liverpool 3-1 last weekend to mark themselves down as genuine title contenders again this season. Yet Mikel Arteta's side should be wary that they've won none of their last 3 head-to-heads against West Ham, drawing 1, losing 2, including a 3-1 EFL Cup defeat at the London Stadium back in November, and sometimes struggle to follow up significant results with similar performances in subsequent games. Criticised by some of they've been criticised by some of the media for over-celebrating their Liverpool victory. But the Gunners could be forgiven for enjoying themselves should they win at the London Stadium. They've only triumphed once in their last 4 away league fixtures, drawing 1, losing 2. As for the last 5 meetings at the London Stadium, saw both teams score through 2 wins, 2 draws and 1 defeat. Also may need to do something they've only done once in those last 4 away league games, so a positive results, and which is score more than once. Good players to watch out for today, in my opinion, is West Ham's Jarrod Bowen. He's netted against Arsenal in their League Cup victory in November, and 3 of his last 4 goals arrived between the 70th and 80th minute. Another potential latest scorer is Arsenal's Leandro Trossard, who after completing the scrum against Liverpool has netted 5 of his last 6 league goals for Arsenal after the 55th minute. And offside as well, prior to this round, only Manchester City have conceded fewer first half Premier League goals at home than West Ham's 3 this season. So we'll wait to see if that is against Arsenal. Have lost 1 the last 15 games against West Ham away from home as well. West Ham have won 10 Premier League games this season, won all 11 in all competitions. 49 points is Arsenal's second best total after 23 games in the last 10 seasons. West Ham have won the last 4 games, 3 draws and 1 defeat. It's a 2-0 winning Arsenal back in December as well. And West Ham won beating in the last 6 home games. Joint club record at the London Stadium. Arsenal won the 3 last Premier League games. Scored 10, conceded 2. Goes well as some more stats ahead of kick-off, with the teams almost getting ready to come out of the tunnel into the pitch of the London Stadium. We've got the pictures now from London Stadium with the Arsenal players in the tunnel there. West Ham players just coming down now with Kurt Zouma leading them down there. There's the goalkeeper Areola shaking hands with David Raya and some of the Arsenal players as the teams are getting ready to come out of the tunnel, which should be a good atmosphere as the bubbles will fly around the London Stadium as the teams emerge, with the West Ham anthem also ringing around the London Stadium as well this afternoon. So the teams are almost ready to be set to come out. It should be a good atmosphere in what's going to be, I would say, a very, very good game this afternoon. Myself, Russ Long, is in the presenter's chair and alongside me, ready to guide you through all that first half action and give you the team news in full as the teams are about to emerge from the tunnel at the London Stadium. It's after me trying to guide you through the first half. Chief match commentator, Paul James.
Thank you, Ross. Good afternoon, everybody. As the teams emerge from the tunnel, just taking a look there at the Arsenal team. Let's just take a look at the starting lineups as usual. Starting with West Ham United, who are managed by David Moyes. They have Alfonso Areola in goal, Emerson, Naif Aguerd, Kurt Zuma, and Vladimir Kufal are the back four. Thomas Souček and Edson Alvarez holding the midfield, with Mohamed Kudus, James Ward-Prowse, and Ben Johnson just behind Jared Bowen leading the line. For Arsenal, they're of course managed by Mikel Arteta with their familiar 4-3-3, line up with David Raya in goal, Jakub Kiwior coming in for Alexander Zinchenko, Gabriel, who's making his 150th appearance today for Arsenal, William Saliba and Ben White make up the back four. Kai Havertz, Declan Rice and Martin Odegaard, the captain, and Gabriel Martinelli, Leandro Trossard, who is also making his 50th appearance today for Arsenal, and Bukayo Saka. The substitutes for West Ham United is Lucas Fabianski, the goalkeeper, Aaron Questwell, Konstantinos Mavropanos, who scored in the first game, Angelo Ogbonna, Oliver Scarles, Calvin Phillips, Maxwell Cornet, Danny Ings, and Divin Mbama. Oliver Scarles will make his first appearance today in the Premier League for West Ham if he comes off the bench today. For Arsenal, Aaron Ramsdale, Cedric Soares, who hasn't made a single Premier League appearance this season for Arsenal, Ruel Walters, Jorginho, Mohamed El Neni, likewise, he also hasn't made a Premier League appearance this season. Mauro Bandeira will make his first Premier League appearance this season if he comes on. Ethan Nwaneri, Eddie Nketiah, and Reece Nelson. And our referee today is Craig Horston, and he is 44 from Sheffield, South Yorkshire. Craig was promoted to the Select Group 1 referees in 2013. He was added to the FIFA list referees 2 years later. This is the first time Horston has taken charge of either of these two sides this season. And the record between the two teams have actually played each other 150 times, with West Ham winning 37, Arsenal winning 72. There's been 41 draws. The first meeting between the two teams took place on January the 13th, 1906. It was an FA Cup first round tie at the Manor Ground in Plumstead. There was 18,000 there, so Woolwich Arsenal drew 1-1 with West Ham United. The replay was 5 days later, and the Gunners won that one. News event of 1906 on April the 18th, the Great San Francisco earthquake and fire killed 4,000 people while destroying 75% of the city. On October 22nd, Henry Ford became the president of the Ford Motor Company. So the players just gathering round now. Referee Craig Horston, these assistants are Mark Perry, Steve Meredith, Graham Scott is the fourth official, and as we hope that there is no VAR involved today, if there is, John Brooks and Lee Betts are in Stockley Park, as the Arsenal players who are wearing their change strip today of Illuminous yellow with the black stripes, with the black shorts and Illuminous yellow stock. West Ham will be in their claret and blue jerseys as the home team. And at the London Stadium, it is absolutely packed. This is the third meeting this season between the two sides. West Ham won both of the others and outscoring Arsenal 5-1 in those games. So for Arsenal, they desperately need a win today, but West Ham has been a tricky tie for them. And as we just see Aguerd there talking, and the West Ham players are about ready just to get this game underway. They're just getting themselves to the centre circle right now. And there's James Ward-Prowse. It'll be Arsenal getting the game underway, and they will attack the goal to our left. And the game is underway, and it's sent all the way back to David Raya. And David Raya just gives the ball to Ben White and back to Raya. Raya gives the ball back to Gabriel on his 150th appearance today for Arsenal. Here's Gabriel now. He's midway inside his own half, down the left-hand side. He drops it back to David Raya. David Raya gives the ball to Saliba. Goes across to Ben White. As Arsenal now just keeping possession early on. It's now back with David Raya, the goalkeeper. And Raya just slips the ball to Declan Rice. Declan Rice gives the ball down his left-hand side to Kiwior. And Kiwior just drops the ball back now to Gabriel. Gabriel gives the ball to Martinelli. And it's now back with Declan Rice. Declan Rice, midway inside his own half of the field, just gives it to Saliba. As Arsenal now just getting comfortable in possession. and the ball is slipped to Martin Odegaard. Odegaard inside the centre circle. He just drops it down to the right-hand side to Ben White. White drops the ball back to Saliba. Saliba gives the ball to Gabriel, and he gives it back to Saliba. With Arsenal, well, this is just possession football early on for Arsenal, and West Ham just sitting back at the moment, just allowing Arsenal to maintain possession. Very little press from West Ham. Here's Trossard, he gives the ball to Saka, and it's now with Martin Odegaard. Odegaard inside the centre circle, gives it to Declan Rice. Rice just drops it down the left-hand side. Oh, and dispossessed is Kylian, and here's Kudus now for West Ham. Kudus, edge of the penalty area, right-hand side. Kudus drops the ball back to Kufal. Kufal gets across in, and it's headed out there by Declan Rice. And it's now with Gabriel Martinelli. Martinelli plays the ball forward here for Kai Havertz. Storming over the halfway line. Gives it to Bukayo Saka down the right-hand side. Saka now. He's got Emerson in front of him. He pulls the ball back to Martin Odegaard. Odegaard now, edge of the area. Tries to slip the ball through to Leandro Trossard, but a bit too much power on that pass by Odegaard, and it goes through to Areola in the West Ham goal. Well, just for a moment there, the giveaway by Jakub Kylian almost let in Mohamed Kudus, and Mohamed Kudus has been very, very effective this season, of course. We all know what he's capable of, and it's now the ball is now played forward, looking for Jared Bowen. He's offside. He's still carrying on going, but the flag has gone up. David Raya made the save, but it's not going to matter. The flag had already gone up, and either the referee didn't blow the whistle or he didn't hear it. He just strayed into an offside position. Not by much, but just enough. Talking about Kudus, 6 goals this season for Mohamed Kudus, and he is going to be a threat to that Arsenal defence today. And here is Saliba. Plays the ball forward to Odegaard. Odegaard drops the ball back to Gabriel. Gabriel, midway inside his own half, gives the ball to Declan Rice. And Rice gives the ball to Ben White. White back to Declan Rice and slipped across to Martin Odegaard on the right-hand side. Still inside the Arsenal half of the field, Declan Rice just looking for options. He's just going to go all the way back to Saliba, who's going to give the ball across to Gabriel, as Arsenal just continue to maintain possession and play possession football here and let West Ham do the chasing. Little press from the home team at the moment, but West Ham quite comfortable with Arsenal in possession in this particular part of the field inside Arsenal's own half. And it's Saliba now. He plays the ball forward to Ben White. Ben White infield to Kai Havertz. Kai Havertz goes down the right-hand side now. He passes to Bukayo Saka inside the penalty area. Saka gets across in, but the official's flag goes up on the far side, and Saka is offside. And it's going to be a free kick to the Hammers. West Ham United 0, Arsenal 0. 4 minutes, 20 seconds gone here at the London Stadium. David Moyes, well, he's just directing traffic right now. He's really done a wonderful job for the Hammers this season. They've been bordering on European places. They're actually in 8th position right now in the league table. And this is a very, very good team. And they've already had good victories this season, and they're looking strong. They definitely could be looking at a conference league position by the end of the season. David Moyes really has done a wonderful job at the London Stadium. Here's Kurt Zouma inside the centre circle. Zouma, he was looking to go down the right-hand side to Kufal. He chose to go back to his central defensive partner, Aguerd. And Aguerd just drops it back to Areola, who clears the ball right-footed downfield. Jakub Kylian wins that header, but it does fall there to Kudus, but Kudus was not able to keep the ball in play. And it's going to be a throw-in to the Gunners, which Jakub Kylian will take. And he drops the ball, the throw-in taken quickly there to Gabriel. And Gabriel inside the Arsenal half of the field, looking for options available. He's just down the left-hand side there, and he drops it into the middle of the park to Saliba, and Saliba gives it to Ben White. Ben White to Leandro Trossard and to Martin Odegaard. Odegaard drops the ball back there to Ben White. Ben White gives the ball back to Martin Odegaard. To Leandro Trossard. He gives the ball to Martin Odegaard, rather. And here's Bukayo Saka down the right-hand side. Odegaard moving into the middle of the park. Crossing the ball in, but Kurt Zouma just hacks that ball away. And it's picked up by Saka again. But Saka's header is just short and it falls to Aguerd, who clears the ball out of play for a throw-in to the Gunners, which is about 12 yards inside the West Ham half of the field on the right-hand side. And it's Ben White, just gives the ball to Martin Odegaard. Odegaard drops the ball back into the Arsenal half of the field, and it's with Saliba. And he gives the ball to Declan Rice. Declan Rice just over the halfway line now. It's Jakub Kiwior. Arsenal could very well be missing Zinchenko today. He gets forward, does Zinchenko, all the time for Arsenal. Adds a bit of extra offence to the Arsenal front line. Jakub Kiwior, I think, is a little bit different in that respect, but we'll see how the Arsenal front line cope today. Here is Declan Rice. Declan Rice gives the ball to Kiwior, and he dropped forward to Martinelli. That's a good interception by Kufal, and he gave the ball to Kudus, who runs the ball out of play, and it's going to be a throw-in to Arsenal. And it's taken quickly by Kai Havertz, and he gives it to Declan Rice. Declan Rice down the left-hand side, played into the centre circle, across to William Saliba. Here's Bukayo Saka down the right-hand flank now. He's cutting into the middle, is Saka. He's midway inside that West Ham half of the field. It's now with Declan Rice. Launches the ball again over to the right-hand side. This time Odegaard is over there. Gives the ball to Saka. Saka tries to lift the ball over to Martinelli just in the penalty area on the left-hand side. He crosses the ball in and there's a backheel flick by Trossard, but it comes off a West Ham player and goes behind for the first corner of the game with 8 minutes gone here. West Ham United 0, Arsenal 0, and it's the first corner of the game and it's fallen to the Gunners. And Saliba in the penalty area, Trossard, Kiwior, all in there, along with Kai Havertz and Declan Rice, who's now become accustomed to taking these corners on the left-hand side for Arsenal, is going to swing this one in. And he's just in front of those West Ham fans, standing behind that goal. And the cross comes in towards the 6-yard box. The heads go up, and it looks like it came off Saliba there, but it's a comfortable save for Areola. But he releases it quick, looking to get Alvarez on his way, but that is a fine challenge. And Bukayo Saka picked up an injury making that challenge, and a yellow card for Alvarez, and a little harsh in my mind, perhaps. It was definitely a little bit late, but it's really the first challenge that Alvarez has made in this game, but he will go into Craig Pawson's book as we take a look at that challenge again. Oh, it was late. It was very late on Bukayo Saka. Just got there first in Saka, and yes, perhaps I'll take that back and say that was a worthy yellow card on Alvarez's part. It's an early booking for Edson Alvarez. He's not going to appreciate that because now he's got a long way to go in this game, as the free kick is down the right-hand side, about midway inside the West Ham half of the field. Martin Odegaard is standing over this, so is Declan Rice, with Jarrod Bowen forming the one-man wall for the Hammers. And it's going to be Martin Odegaard, I think. Oh, he steps over it and gives it to Declan Rice, who plays it short to Bukayo Saka down the right-hand side. Saka pulls it back to Declan Rice, who swings that cross in. Headed by Kai Havertz, goes up in the air, and it's plucked out of the air by Alfonso Areola, and West Ham can start again from the back. But early pressure by Arsenal on the West Ham goal, but they've not really been able to create any significant chances so far in this game as we hit the 10-minute mark at the London Stadium. It is 0-0 still. And here's Gabriel Martinelli. He plays the ball forward there to Leandro Trossard. Trossard turns, plays it down the right flank to Bukayo Saka. Corner of the penalty area, right-hand side. Here's Odegaard. He gives the ball to Ben White. Back to Saka. Back to Odegaard, still on that right corner of the penalty area. Passes it into the middle to Declan Rice. Back to Odegaard. Corner of the penalty area, right-hand side. He gives the ball back to Bukayo Saka, who's going to have a shot. Oh, it takes a deflection, but it looks like it came off Leandro Trossard last. I suspect that will be a goal kick. Bukayo Saka shaking his head. We'll see. Let's have a look. Martin Odegaard picks it up on the corner of the area to Bukayo Saka. Oh, actually, it comes off 27 Aguerd there. So it should be a corner to Arsenal. Or did it also come off Leandro Trossard as well? May have come off Leandro Trossard as well. But it is a corner to Arsenal. And Declan Rice takes it short to Martinelli. Gets it back to the edge of the box to Odegaard. Odegaard swing towards the back post, and coming in at the back post there was Gabriel. But also making that challenge was Alvarez. And it's going to be a corner again to Arsenal. That's a good piece of defending by Alvarez. Just getting there before Gabriel. Gabriel was on the back post, just waiting to head the ball in there. There's another corner to Arsenal, this time on the right-hand side. It's going to be Bukayo Saka. Is he going to swing this one into the penalty area as he usually does? Or is he going to play it short to Odegaard? Well, there's a lot of Arsenal players in there. Trossard, Gabriel, Saliba, Havertz, Kiwior, Ben White. Here's Martin Odegaard. He drops it back to Saka, corner of the penalty area, right-hand side. Saka swings it towards the back post, but it is over everybody's head and goes out of play for a goal kick. You are listening to Alternative Commentary on the Commentary Hub YouTube channel. Today's Player of the Match sponsor on the Hub is sponsored by Commentary Services. Commentary Services would like to thank our broadcasting partners for this season, JB Sports, Focus on Football and Storm FM. Don't forget you can follow us on Twitter at Commentary Live 1, and you can like our Facebook page at facebook.com/The Commentary Hub. As Areola takes that goal kick very quickly, it's flicked on there by Souček and cleared away by Gabriel. But here is Kurt Zouma, and it goes all the way back to the goalkeeper, Areola, as West Ham now just looking to try to forge some chances of their own. And here's Alvarez. Plays the ball, picked up now by Kufal. The ball is played forward looking for Jared Bowen, but just getting in the way there is Gabriel of Jared Bowen. That's a good piece of defending there by Gabriel. And it's back now with Gabriel, and he plays it across to Saliba. It's Jared Bowen pressing Saliba that time. And that's a good ball by Saliba. Just plays it over to Gabriel, and he plays the ball forward to Kiwior. Is that ball out of play? Indeed it is. It's going to be a throw into West Ham down the right-hand side, midway inside the Arsenal half of the field. And with 13 minutes gone here, it's West Ham United 0, Arsenal 0. And the throw-in is going to be taken by Kufal. He's midway inside that Arsenal half of the field. Kufal is stealing a lot of yards there, and he throws it forward to Kudus, and just getting on the ball there is Kiwior to knock the ball out of play. It's going to be another throw-in to West Ham United, which Kufal will have another go, and he gives it to Kudus again. It's back to Vladimir Kufal now, corner of the penalty area, swings it in, but cleared away that time by Martinelli to the halfway line. It's picked up by Aguerd on the halfway line, spreads it down the right-hand side looking for Kudus. The header was won by Kiwior. He had more time than he realised. Kudus picks up the ball off Kufal. Back now with Kufal. He's looking for Kudus again, but Kufal plays the ball back now to Alvarez. Alvarez just trying to turn away from Leandro Trossard. Down the right again. Gives it to Souček. It's back to Kufal. It's back to Alvarez. Alvarez again, just inside his own half. He plays the ball forward, and chasing it down is Jared Bowen. But David Raya comes out and takes the ball very calmly there and throws it long over to the right-hand side to Ben White, with Ben Johnson closing in there. But that's good work by Ben White. He just gives it back to Saliba, who gives it back to the goalkeeper, David Raya. And Raya just plays the ball across to Saliba again. And Saliba gives the ball to Martin Odegaard. Odegaard gives it to Declan Rice. There's 3 West Ham players around him, and Arsenal turn the ball over, and it goes to Ben Johnson. Poor giveaway by Declan Rice, not like him. James Ward-Prowse. And he gives the ball to Aguerd, and across now to Alvarez. And Alvarez gives the ball now to Kurt Zouma. Zouma plays the ball across there to Aguerd again. And he gives the ball down the left-hand side to James Ward-Prowse, and it's back to Alvarez. And he gives the ball back to Ward-Prowse. Alvarez on the halfway line gives the ball to Emerson. Emerson just gave the ball there to Johnson, and Johnson drops it back to Aguerd, who gives it to his central defensive partner, Kurt Zouma. And here's Aguerd. And picked up again by Aguerd, just midway inside his own half of the field, as Arsenal pressing West Ham back. And it's now back with Areola, who gives the ball to Aguerd again. Corner of the penalty area, left-hand side as far as West Ham are concerned. The ball is played forward, and it's looking for Jared Bowen. But Saliba just gets in the way of that and plays it forward, looking for Saka, but it's intercepted by Ben Johnson. And now Ben Johnson does a quick 1-2. He plays the ball into the middle, looking for Kudus, but that's a good piece of defending by Jakub Kiwior. Ben Johnson playing the ball into the box, but Kiwior just getting there ahead of Mohamed Kudus, making a vital challenge there. A quick 1-2 with James Ward-Prowse. Kudus was onside, but good work by Jakub Kiwior. Perhaps Ben Johnson, no, he just didn't get enough power on that, I don't think, and it was always going behind Kudus a little bit. And it's going to be a corner now, though, to the Hammers. And James Ward-Prowse is taking it down the left-hand side. It's the first corner for West Ham today. Alvarez and Kurt Zuma are in there trying to make a nuisance of themselves, and it's swung in, and it's headed out by Gabriel, but only as far as the edge of the area to Ben Johnson. Johnson going back, he was all dispossessed by Kai Havertz, and in the end knocks the ball out of play, and it's going to be a throw-in to Arsenal. But that corner coming in, good work by Gabriel, just getting under that header, but it was only to the edge of the area. As Odegaard just watching Souček there. Souček going down under the challenge of Martin Odegaard. There's no way that was a penalty. He practically flung himself to the floor. I think if I was in Craig Pawson's position and I'd have seen that, I think I would have been showing him the yellow card. And here's Jakub Kiwior, midway inside the Arsenal half of the field with this throw. Gives it to Odegaard. And back to Kiwior. To Odegaard. And Odegaard drops the ball back to Gabriel, who goes all the way back to David Raya inside the Arsenal half of the field. And he gives the ball to William Saliba. Saliba plays the ball forward to to Gabriel Martinelli. And he gives the ball to Martin Odegaard. Odegaard to Declan Rice. Looking for the options now, Declan Rice. He's got options down the left and the right-hand side. He gives the ball to Jakub Kiwior. Jakub Kiwior back to Martinelli. Martinelli gives the ball away, and here's Jared Bowen now for West Ham. It's 3-on-3 of the Hammers. Hurry. The shot came in, it took a deflection, and it's a comfortable save for David Raya. Well, he had options alongside him, left and right, Jared Bowen there. Kudus down the right and Souček down the left, but he chose to go on his own, and that was a poor mistake by Martinelli turning over the ball at that point. 3-on-3 for West Ham there. They managed that a little better. Is Saliba. Saliba now looking for options available. He's got Ben White down the right. He decides to go with Ben White just over the halfway line. Odegaard to Saliba. And gives the ball to Gabriel. And Gabriel finds Declan Rice. Declan Rice inside the centre circle now. We've got 19 minutes gone. London Stadium. It's still West Ham United 0, Arsenal 0. No side yet have had any real clear-cut scoring opportunities. Neither goalkeeper forced into any real action. Here's Bukayo Saka down the right-hand side. Moving into the middle of the park, Saka. Here he goes. He's already got 6 goals. He has a shot, but it's a weak effort in the end. And Areola just falls on that and releases it to Aguerd. To Emerson. Emerson, under pressure from Saka, and plays the ball off Saka, and it goes out of play for a throw-in to West Ham, and it's midway inside the Arsenal half of the field. Bukayo Saka, 6 goals this season. What an impressive player he really is. It's always a pleasure to commentate on Bukayo Saka. He's got a lot of talent, and England are lucky to have him. And we've now got a free kick to West Ham. Craig Pawson is just looking at organising this. He's just talking to some of the Arsenal players, pointing away there. And the free kick is going to be taken by Naif Aguerd. And it's about 6 yards inside his own half. He goes long, though, looking for Jared Bowen. Bowen heads the ball up into the air. And it's won by Alvarez. Alvarez drops the ball back to Emerson. Emerson to Johnson on the left-hand side. Johnson plays it in the middle to Souček. Souček back to Emerson. Emerson looking to get the cross in here. That is a good block by Declan Rice. But Emerson may have another go at it. Declan Rice heads it out, but only as far as Johnson. Can Johnson get the cross in now for West Ham? He's surrounded by 2 Arsenal players. Gives it to Ward-Prowse, who in turn gives it to Emerson. and back toward Prowse. It's now back with Ben Johnson. Johnson lifts the ball into the penalty area and hacked away by William Saliba, only as far as Kurt Zuma, who just heads the ball down there to Aguerd, his central defensive partner. He's on the halfway line, and it gives it to Emerson. Emerson is dispossessed though by Bukayo Saka, and Bukayo Saka now down the right-hand side. He gives the ball to Declan Rice as Arsenal breaking forward in numbers here. Bukayo Saka gives it to Martin Odegaard. He's about 40 yards out. Finds Trossard. Can he turn and shoot? Oh, he tried to play the pass, but Naif Aguerd was able to block that pass and it was cleared away. And here's Saliba now for Arsenal. It's Gabriel inside the centre circle, inside his own half. It's William Saliba now. Crosses the halfway line. Just looking for the options available. There's literally no pressure at West Ham, so Arsenal have time on the ball to pick out the passes that they're looking for. And there's Saliba, gives the ball to Odegaard, and down the right-hand side to Bukayo Saka again as Alvarez is up there. And he crosses it in, and there's a header by Leandro Trossard, and he turns it over the crossbar. But that is the best chance for Arsenal so far. Great crossing by Bukayo Saka, and, well, Leandro Trossard lost Aguerd, his marker, and he got the header on target. And, well, it wasn't on target, it was over the crossbar, but he really should have done better with that. Mikel Arteta just directing traffic, and it's headed forward to Bukayo Saka. Bukayo Saka just gives the ball away to Alvarez, and Alvarez plays the ball to Ben Johnson, surrounded by 2 or 3 Arsenal players, including Bukayo Saka. And Bukayo Saka wins the ball, and he gives it to Leandro Trossard, and West Ham turn the ball over again. Trossard nearly lost possession there, but it's picked up by Havertz and gives it to Odegaard. It's now Saka. Back to Havertz, right-hand side. Cross the ball in, and there's a chance for Leandro Trossard, and a super save by Areola. Well, what a chance. And this time, Areola is forced into action. The cross came in. It was a sweet right-footed volley by Leandro Trossard, and a super save by Areola. He was equal to that. Oh, that was a good save. And, well, it keeps West Ham at parity here. And it's going to be a corner to Arsenal. And it's going to be down the right-hand side, and it's going to be Bukayo Saka, as Arsenal really turning the screws on this West Ham defence right now. This very interesting setup here. They've got 5 players on the back post. Havertz, Gabriel, Saliba, Kiwior, and also Ben White. They now move into the middle. Cross coming into the 6-yard box. It's punched into the air by Areola, but only as far as Saka, still on the right-hand side by the touchline, looking at getting the cross in. He pulls it back there to Martinelli, who gets a cross in, and it's Trossard again, who gets a hook on the shot, and it drops wide. Not quite as near this time, but Trossard looking very lively early on for Arsenal. A couple of chances for him already, and one of them forcing a really good save from Areola, but it's a goal kick to West Ham United, and Areola is going to take it. And he is going to clear it right-footed downfield. Just going up for that is Souček, but it seems to evade Souček, goes out of play. May have come off Gabriel, and it's a throw into West Ham, which Kufal will take, and he throws it back to Kurt Zuma. Zuma gives the ball back to Kufal. Kufal, well, that was more of a hospital pass into Alvarez there. Alvarez keeps possession, well played by him. He gives the ball to Kudas. Back to Alvarez, but Arsenal outnumber them, and they're breaking forward now with Martin Odegaard. Odegaard gives the ball to Saka, right-hand side in the penalty area. Can Saka get a shot away? It's blocked by Johnson and headed out by Kufal. And now West Ham perhaps can go on the break. And it's Alvarez again, right in the middle of the park. This is good work by Alvarez. He beats 2 Arsenal players, but the pass looking for Johnson was a poor one and only found Ben White. And now Arsenal can come forward with Odegaard down the right-hand side to Bukayo Saka, corner of the penalty area. Good challenge by Emerson. And he picks up the ball now and can set West Ham on the way. He drops it back to Ben Johnson. End-to-end stuff here at the London Stadium. There's 25 minutes gone. It's West Ham United 0, Arsenal 0. Now, that's cleared away by Naif Aguerd. Long looking for Bowen. But Saliba wins a header there and finds Ben White, who keeps the ball in play. He tries to find Saka, but it's won back by Emerson. And now Emerson gets a quick 1-2 pass off Souček. Emerson, can you get the cross in? And it's a poor one, blocked by Ben White and trickles through to David Raya in the Arsenal goal. And Raya just drops it back down to Declan Rice. And Declan Rice finds Martin Odegaard as Arsenal looking to break out quickly. Odegaard slows it down. He's in the centre circle now and gives it to Kai Havertz. Havertz back to Declan Rice. 67% possession in his first half for Arsenal. 7 attempts, only 1 on target. And only 1 attempt for West Ham at this time. And here is Ben White. He gives the ball to Martin Odegaard down the right-hand side. Odegaard moves into the middle and he gives it back to Ben White. It's midway inside the West Ham half of the field. Declan Rice back to Ben White. Ben White just goes down the right-hand side to Bukayo Saka, who's been lively in this first half so far. Gives the ball to Ben White and back to Saka, corner of the penalty area, right-hand side. Gives the ball to Declan Rice. Declan Rice will pick up the ball again to Saka, again, corner of the penalty area, right-hand side. Back to Odegaard, edge of the area. Odegaard gets a shot away and he just takes a deflection and goes the wrong side of the post as far as Arsenal are concerned. And it's going to be another corner. Looks like that deflection came off. I think this came off Aguerd, actually. No, it came off Souček in the end. And it goes behind for a corner. And Martin Odegaard, very dangerous from the edge of the penalty area, scored many of his goals from there. West Ham will have to watch him. The corner will be taken down the left-hand side and it will be taken by Declan Rice. Declan Rice is going to swing this one in. The heads go up, but it was headed out by James Ward-Prowse, but only as far as Kai Havertz down the right-hand side. Gives the ball to Bukayo Saka. Back to Martin Odegaard. Ben White now looking at options available. He gives the ball to Declan Rice, who sprayed it down the left-hand side to Martinelli. He's been quiet in this game, Martinelli, and he's dispossessed there, that time by Koufal, but won back by Gabriel Martinelli. And he's alleged to have fouled Koufal. I'm not sure exactly what was in that. We'll just have to take another look at that because I really didn't see a lot wrong with that from Gabriel Martinelli. And Koufal now is just clutching his face. Let's have a look. Martinelli won the ball back. Oh, he just caught Koufal in the face with a stray hand. And Koufal is on his feet now. You're listening to Alternative Commentary on the Commentary Hub YouTube channel. Today's Player of the Match sponsor on the Hub is sponsored by Commentary Services. Commentary Services would like to thank our broadcasting partners for this season, JB Sports, Focus on Football and Storm FM. Don't forget you can follow us on Twitter at Commentary Live 1 and you can like our Facebook page at facebook.com/The Commentary Hub. Free kick to Arsenal from a foul by Souček, which is taken quickly, and it's now with Declan Rice in midway inside his own half of the field. Gives the ball to Leandro Trossard. Trossard goes long to the left-hand side, and Martinelli's inside now, the defence on the left. Martinelli pulls the ball across, and he was looking for Odegaard, but he's got a bit too much on it, and it was cleared away by Aguerd, but Arsenal still coming forward with Leandro Trossard. But a really great challenge that time by Jared Bowen. And he's now dispossessed by Leandro Trossard, but the ball had gone out of play. Trossard unable to keep that in play. But that is really good work by Martinelli. Just gets the better of Koufal this time. Gets into the penalty area. Storming in there was Martin Odegaard, but he just couldn't get there quickly enough. And it's going to be a throw-in now, and it's taken quickly, and the ball is launched forward. Kurt Zuma, but it goes all the way through to David Raya, an aimless ball there. West Ham not really been threatening going forward in this first half so far. We haven't seen a lot from them. Here's Trossard, and it goes across to Saliba. Saliba to Bukayo Saka down the right hand side. Sorry about that. And the ball is now with Gabriel, and Gabriel drops it back to David Raya. Raya gives the ball back to Gabriel. Gabriel forward to Ben White and back to Gabriel. Goes back to David Raya. And here's Declan Rice now. Declan Rice, midway inside the Arsenal half of the field. He plays the ball down the left-hand side to Kai Havertz. He's got Martinelli overlapping. He goes in the middle to Trossard instead. Trossard down to the right-hand side to Bukayo Saka on the corner penalty area. It's now swung in by Ben White and headed out by Souček, only as far as Kyria, who gives the ball to Martinelli. Back to Kyria, who tries to get the cross in, but it's blocked by Koufal. And it will be another Arsenal corner. They really have put on the pressure in this first half, but really have created very little. Just that one chance, really, by Trossard, forced a super save from Areola. But Arsenal definitely now will be looking to try to get a goal here. They need the victory, as the corner is going to be taken by Declan Rice. And got players in the box there. Trossard is in there. And Declan Rice is going to swing this one in now. And the cross coming in towards the 6-yard box. The heads go up. It's in there. It is William Saliba with the goal. And Arsenal take the 1-goal lead. And now this. From the corner, direct from Declan Rice's corner, the heads go up, but it is William Saliba with the header in the 6-yard box. Well, he got ahead of Emerson and Aguerd, and he is shorter than those two defenders. That is good work by William Saliba in giving Arsenal the 1-goal lead. And the goal coming on 32 minutes, giving Arsenal the lead at the London Stadium. And William Saliba celebrates that goal. Well, the Frenchman has been outstanding this season for Arsenal, and he has been on fire. Valuable part of that Arsenal defence. Chips up with a goal. One you wouldn't expect from Saliba, but that's not usually his forte, scoring goals, but he got on the end of that one, and Arsenal had the 1-goal lead. And here's Trossard. Trossard, if he fouled there, no, he was in fact dispossessed by Kudus, but the ball breaks loose. And Declan Rice now, he gives the ball to Bukayo Saka as Arsenal storming forward again now. They've got the bit between their teeth. And he gives the ball to Martin Odegaard. Odegaard plays the ball down the left-hand side to Trossard. Trossard down to Declan Rice. Declan Rice across to the right-hand side there to Bukayo Saka. And Saka gives the ball to Declan Rice. To Ben White. Just gives the ball back there now to the goalkeeper, David Raya. And here's Gabriel. Gabriel plays the ball forward looking for Martinelli, but Koufal gets up in the air. Only heads it as far as Kai Havertz, who gives it to Jakub Kyria. Kyria back to Gabriel, and now to Ben White. Ben White across to Bukayo Saka. Bukayo Saka, corner of the penalty area, right-hand side to Odegaard. Odegaard inside the penalty area now. He's got Ben White overlapping. Can Ben White get a cross in? No, it's blocked there by Ben Johnson, and will be a throw-in to Arsenal. It's level with the Arsenal penalty, with the West Ham penalty area, and throwing is taken quickly to Saka. Saka tries to play the ball through to Odegaard. Odegaard, corner of the penalty area, right-hand side, gives the ball to Kai Havertz, who gives it to Declan Rice. Odegaard again swings the ball in, looking for the header by Saka, and he just didn't get a connection there and was blocked by Kurt Zouma, but the West Ham make a bit of a mess of the clearance, and it's now with Martinelli. Martinelli knocks the ball back to Jakub Kyria. Long ball into the box. There is Saka. Oh, a free header. And he puts it wide. And Saka knows he should have done better there. Oh, he had his 7th goal on a plate for him there, did Saka, but he puts it the wrong side of the post. And it remains West Ham United 0, Arsenal 1 at the London Stadium. And what a chance for Arsenal to double their lead there. Well, Areola will take the goal kick, as West Ham just can't seem to create anything offensively. It's been all Arsenal in this first half. Having said that, the game at the Emirates was exactly the same. It was all Arsenal, but 2 goals, one from Souček and one from Mavropanos was the difference. in the end, and West Ham come away 2-0 winners. Well, Arsenal this time scored first, and it's now with Kurt Zuma, and he gives the ball to Kufal. Kufal decides to go all the way back to Areola as West Ham, as the home side, continue to play the ball back. They've had one attempt, but nothing on target. Arsenal have had 11 shots, 4 on target. And that's the difference in this game right now, as David Raya gives the ball to Declan Rice. Rice plays the ball to Ben White. Ben White just plays the ball across to Saliba, the goal scorer. He gives it down the right-hand side to Bukayo Saka. He's got Emerson and Johnson in front of him. He gives him to Ben White. A flick on there by Leandro Trossard. And the ball is played through now to Saka, and he lifts it up to the goalkeeper. But again, he puts it wide as another chance goes begging for Arsenal. And look at this again. Leandro Trossard, it was a beautiful flick through to Odegaard, who then played a very simple pass through to Saka, who was onside, mind you. And he just lifted it over Areola, but again, the wrong side of the post as far as up. And, well, just with the outside of the boot there, Bukayo Saka. And it is going to be a goal kick, and it's cleared downfield. We have 5 minutes to go till half time, and it's still West Ham United 0, Arsenal 1. As here's Gabriel, he gives the ball to Leandro Trossard midway inside his own half. Trossard plays the ball long, and Saka is in here. The flag has stayed down. Saka goes round the goalkeeper, and it's a penalty. Or is it? He's given. Is it? Well, I think he's given Saka the yellow card. And now let's just take a look at this. I think he's given Saka the yellow card. Well, Saka was onside. There was no question about that. He rounds the goalkeeper. Why is he in that position? That doesn't make sense. But let's see. He goes round the goalkeeper. I want to see if there was any contact. Well, it looks like he clattered with the goalkeeper's knee. At the moment, I'm still not entirely sure if a penalty's been given. It looks like he may have gone down easily. We're just going to see. Right, the penalty has been given, and Areola has been shown the yellow card. So they're looking at it in VAR, mind you. They're going to be checking for offside first of all. Obviously, he wasn't. You can see that. You don't need to look at that a million times, but yet they will. He's clearly being played on by the number 5, Kufal. They're looking at possible offside here. I don't see how it can be offside. You just need to look at the cut of the graph. You can see it's onside. VAR. Anyway, we're still waiting to see. Kufal appears to be playing him onside. They're still looking at it. You can see with the cut of the grass that he's onside. But we're going to wait and see now whether we're just going to let VAR do its thing. And there it is, it's onside. So the second question will be as to whether or not there was enough contact. They're still looking at that at the moment. There was contact, but it looks like, yes, the penalty has been given after all of that. And Areola's yellow card stands, and we do have a penalty, which Bukayo Saka will take. And Bukayo Saka is standing over the ball here now. And my producer said yellow card, I think. See, the interesting thing was he did wave it, but it looked like if it was in the direction of Saka. Anyway, it is a penalty. And stepping up now is Bukayo Saka, who is going to take this penalty. And Bukayo Saka steps up now against Areola. Just waiting for the referee to blow his whistle. And Saka now, here he goes. Bukayo Saka down the goalkeeper's left-hand side and sent him the wrong way. And Arsenal, Arsenal double their lead. Bukayo Saka with a penalty, and now this. doubles Arsenal's lead, and you can hardly say that Arsenal don't deserve it. It really has been a scintillating performance in the first half by Arsenal. They've really pressed West Ham back, and the 2-goal lead now in place for Arsenal, who are looking very, very impressive in this first half. And the penalty goal by Bukayo Saka. And Arsenal are now looking at 2-0 lead going into half time. And really, you've got to wonder what on earth David Moyes is going to say to that West Ham team at half time. Here's Declan Rice. And Declan Rice now plays the ball forward, and Bukayo Saka picks up the ball, gives the ball down the right-hand side to Ben White, who gives it to Martin Odegaard, and gives it to Leandro Trossard, but it's cleared away there, only as far as William Saliba, as Bukayo Saka just gets a poor touch on it, but chases it down and keeps possession of the ball for Arsenal. Here's Declan Rice inside the centre circle, long ball to the left-hand side, looking to pick out Martinelli, comfortably won by Koufal. And now it's cleared away by Kurt Zuma. As Jacob Kiria, and the ball is played forward and headed on by Leandro Trossard. But Koufal clears the ball only as far as Kai Havertz. Havertz heads the ball down, and it's picked up by Trossard. As West Ham once again make a mess out of clearing the ball, and they are making life difficult for themselves as Koufal fouls Trossard, and it's going to be a free kick just over by the touchline, corner in the penalty area, left-hand side. West Ham are inviting more pressure on themselves now as we look at Bukayo Saka, the scorer of that second goal. And it's going to be taken, this free kick, by Declan Rice. Corner of the penalty area, over just a few yards in from the touchline on the left-hand side, and it's going to be swung in. It's Arsenal now looking very much in control. As Declan Rice is going to swing this one in. He's got players in the box. He's already got one assist from the corner on the first goal from Saliba. But it's going to be swung in now by Rice over there. And it gets a touch and it's in. And it's another one. And it's Kai Havertz this time, I think. And let's take a look at this one. I think it may well be Havertz on this occasion. We'll take a look. It's 3-0 to Arsenal. It looks like it's actually maybe Gabriel, in fact. It looks like it's Gabriel, but it's Arsenal 3, West Ham 0 at the London Stadium, and now this. And it is Gabriel who gets a touch just ahead of Kai Havertz. And it is 3-0. It's another assist for Declan Rice. And Gabriel with a touch. And Declan Rice really has been outstanding in this first half. And Arsenal, well, they're taking their chances now. And West Ham are really paying the price. That is the third goal. And it's Gabriel as we go into injury time. And what on earth is David Moyes going to say to his West Ham team at half-time? Because that is a dominating performance by the Gunners. And it's picked up there by Souček, who heads the ball forward. It's won again by Arsenal, but it's won back, and Souček now picks up the ball. As West Ham have really created nothing going forward. Here's Alvarez. We've got 7 minutes of stoppage time. Not sure where all that's come from. I know some of it's probably because of the VAR check, as that ball was shepherded out of play by Martinelli under the pressure from Koufal. Good defending by Martinelli there. It's going to be a goal kick. But 7 minutes of stoppage time. I expect most of it was for that VAR check. It took way longer than it needed to be, but it was at least they reached the correct decision in the end, and that's the important thing. David Moyes looking on now. What must he be thinking? Here's Martin Odegaard. And he gives the ball to Gabriel. Gabriel back to Saliba. Saliba now, looking for options available. Sullivan plays the ball over down the right-hand side there to White, and picked up again by White as he tried to find Saka, but Ben Johnson nips in and intercepts and wins the ball. But he's given the ball away now, and here's Saka. Saka lifts the ball forward down to Odegaard down the right-hand side. As once again, West Ham give the ball away in a dangerous position. Cross comes in there by Ben White, and it's headed out by Kurt Zuma and helped out along the way by Jared Bowen. But it's only as far as Declan Rice to Martinelli. Martinelli tried to do a 1-2 with Trossard, but it's won by Souček as Arsenal continue to just dominate West Ham. And this is such a one-sided game like I haven't seen in the Premier League. And here is Havertz. He gives the ball to Odegaard. Odegaard slips it through to Trossard. Trossard! It's 4-0! And, well, it is absolutely a demolition job by Arsenal. It is Leandro Trossard getting the fourth. And Arsenal are on the rampage. And now this. Well, look at this again. It's picked up by Havertz. I thought Odegaard was going to have a go, but it was a lovely slide rule pass. And what a finish by Leandro Trossard. Just a beautiful finish. He just takes one touch of the ball, wrong foots Kurt Zuma, and curls it into the goalkeeper's top left-hand corner. There is really nothing that Areola could do. He got close to it, maybe got fingertips to it, but there was no saving that. It's 4-0 to Arsenal, and it is game over. And we're not even at half time yet. What answer can West Ham provide to this performance by Arsenal, which is simply the best I've seen them play all season? And I've commentated on many of their games. The ball is downfield, and it's just headed out of play that time by Kiwior. And it's going to be a throw-in, and already you can see the look on some of those West Ham fans' faces, and some of them are leaving, I might add. There's many of them actually leaving now, and we're not even at half-time. This is as far as West Ham are concerned, a very disappointing day. Clears the ball forward downfield. It's headed on by Kufal. His header only really found Jacob Kiwior. Now, West Ham need to be careful now before this really becomes embarrassing for them. Here is Saliba. He plays the ball forward to Odegaard. Odegaard gives the ball to Saka. Back to Odegaard. And there's Saliba again. He gives it to Bukayo Saka. It's now with Declan Rice just inside the centre circle. He plays the ball forward to Trossard, scorer of the fourth goal. And, well, it's not going to be an easy pick to play with a match today, that's for sure. There's so many in this Arsenal team that have really done a wonderful job. And here's Kiwior now, with Arsenal just playing out the first half now. We've had 4 of the 7 minutes that it's being added on by the fourth official, Graham Scott. Declan Rice plays it forward. He's got it back now of Havertz. Havertz to Declan Rice. Declan Rice plays it over the half line to Martinelli, to Trossard down the left-hand side. Look at that, 25 touches in the West Ham United penalty area. None for West Ham in the Arsenal penalty area. As we are looking outside the stadium now, and we are seeing streams of West Ham fans leaving the stadium. I mean, there is just hundreds of them. I mean, this is a shocker today for West Ham as the ball finds Ben White, but he is in an offside position. And as we have another look at this, there is just a huge amount of people outside of the stadium. And inside the stadium, you can see a lot of empty seats now. And as you look at David Moyes, well, he looks just bemused at what he's seeing here in this first half. I have no idea. And Ross, please don't ask me what I think David Moyes should say at half time, because I have no idea in the slightest. We've always played long, looking for Jared Bowen, but it's won comfortably by Saliba, and the ball goes out of play as we are inside now the last 90 seconds of the first half. And I dare say the West Ham team will be happy to hear the half-time whistle. throw-in is going to be taken by Emerson, about 12 yards inside the Arsenal half of the field. And he throws it back there to Aguerd. And Aguerd goes, yeah, Russ, I know it was one of your questions, but I'm not going to be able to answer it, just so you know. I have no idea, I haven't a clue. And here's Kudus now for West Ham. And the ball goes out of play there, off Jacob Kiwior. And it's going to be a throw into West Ham, which Kufal is going to take. Kufal throws the ball back to Kurt Zouma. And Zouma plays it across to Aguerd. Aguerd now to Alvarez, and Alvarez now just plays the ball forward to Kudus. Kudus is in an offside position, allegedly. But taken quickly, and it will go all the way back. In fact, that ball, the free kick is going to be taken just inside the Arsenal half of the field. And Kiwior takes it and gives it to Gabriel, scorer of the third goal. And here's Declan Rice now. Plays the ball down the right-hand side. And he just gave the ball to Ben White. Ben White gives it. Demolition job in this first half by Arsenal. Thoroughly dominating West Ham. The goals came on 32 minutes from William Saliba with the header. A penalty on the 40th minute by Bukayo Saka. On 43 minutes, Gabriel added another header, and Leandro Trossard rounded off the scoring with a sweet strike into the top left-hand corner. It is at half-time at the London Stadium, a very half-full London Stadium now. It's West Ham United 0, Arsenal 4. Back to you, Ross.
Thank you very much there, Paul James. And what a first half by Arsenal. It's going to get completely out of hand if West Ham are not careful. 4-0 up at half time, and it could be more than that. Could be 4, could be 5 or 6-0 up at half time. But what a first half it has been in this game, and I can't believe how bad it has been this first half from West Ham United. Right, before we get what we're going to do now, we're going to get the half-time scores from the other matches and some full-time scores as well from some of the games taking place today. We'll keep you up to date with all those as well. The half-time and the full-time of this game, and then we'll have a quick break, and then we'll come back and get some first-half thoughts from match commentator Paul James in a little bit more detail at half-time. So we'll just read through some of the scores from some of the other matches taking place today as we go through the scores. Starting off in the Premier League, where we read at half-time is West Ham United 0, Arsenal 4. In the Championship, a full score was Coventry City 2, Millwall 1. In the Premier League 2, which is the under-21s, Man City 3, Wolverhampton Wanderers 3. Man City were 3-1 down at one stage going into the closing stages, and they'll come back to draw 3-3. At half-time is Liverpool 1, Stoke City 1 in the under-21s in the Premier League 2. In the Women's FA Cup, Arsenal 0, Man City 1. Man City progress in the Women's FA Cup. Coming up towards full-time is Wolverhampton Wanderers 1, Brighton Hove Albion 4. Brighton have just added a 4th goal in that one. Also in the Women's FA Cup, Chelsea 0, Crystal Palace 0, London City Lionesses 0, Liverpool 1, Southampton 0, Manchester United 1. Kick off at 4 o'clock in the FA Women's Cup. It is Nottingham Forest against Everton. In France, they finished Le Havre 0, Rennes 1. At half time is Clermont 0, Brest 0, Lorient 0, Reims 0, Toulouse 0, Nantes 1. At 4:05 is Montpellier against Lyon, and at 7:45 is Nice against Monaco. The times, I'm telling you, is the UK times. 25 minutes gone in the German Bundesliga is Stuttgart 0, Mainz 0. Hoffenheim against Cologne is at 4:30. In the Italian Serie A is Fiorentina. They finished Fiorentina 5, Udinese 1. In Italian Serie A, Bologna 2, Lecce 0, Monza 0, Verona 0 at half time. At 5 o'clock is Genoa versus Atalanta, and at 7:45 is AC Milan against Napoli. In the Dutch Eredivisie, full-time score: Go Ahead Eagles 1, Pek Zwolle 1. 69 minutes gone, it's Heerenveen 3, Ajax 1, SC Utrecht 1, Fortuna Sittard 0 after 68 minutes there. Later is FC Walden versus PSV Eindhoven. And at 7 o'clock this evening is Feyenoord against Sparta Rotterdam. Half-time in the Scottish Premiership is Dundee 0, St Johnstone 1. In the Scottish FA Cup is St Mirren 0, Celtic 1 at half-time. In the Scottish Cup at 5 o'clock is Edrionians against Arts. And in the Spanish La Liga is Getafe 3, Celta Vigo 2. At 3:15 is Real Mallorca against Rayo Vallecano. Sevilla against Atletico Madrid at 5:30. And at 8 o'clock is Barcelona against Granada. And also at 8 o'clock this evening is the African Cup of Nations final between Nigeria and Ivory Coast. Good luck to the Nigerians this evening against Ivory Coast. We are big fans and partners with Football Live on Brilla FM in Nigeria, so good luck to the Super Eagles in the African Cup of Nations final. They're going to check out Brilla FM later for their coverage of the Nigeria versus Ivory Coast game as well. You can also watch it if you're in the UK on either BBC 3 or Sky Football, Main Event or Premier League in the UK as well. Let us take a look at the goals from Arsenal. Brilliant goal from Saliba with the first one there. Just going to take a quick break in a moment. And before we do that, let's just get the first from Michael Newman's message. He says, first of all, very good evening to you, Michael. How are you doing, okay, mate? Thank you very much for coming in. He says, that's what you call a statement first half. Just need a Rice goal now. And yes, Arsenal probably do need a Declan Rice goal now to rub salt in the wounds of West Ham United. We're going to take a quick break. When we return, we're back with plenty of time for the second half of the match as West Ham United trail Arsenal by 4-0. Welcome back to the Common Trips coverage of the Premier League encounter between West Ham United and Arsenal, which is taking place at the London Stadium. West Ham United are being taught a lesson by Arsenal, who lead by 4 goals to 0 to the Gunners in the first half. A question for you then, Paul, and I know you said you don't know what David Moyes was going to do, but the question which I'm going to rephrase to try and get a answer question on West Ham and David Moyes at half time. Do you think West Ham could potentially go to a back 5 to try and stop more goals being leaked, or do you think even if they do go to a back 5, Arsenal still score more goals against them in the second half?
Well, it's the way they're playing. Defensively, they've got good players at the back. The way they've played, I mean, as brilliant as Arsenal have played in that game, and they have, West Ham have been very, very poor. They've been turning the ball over in midfield a lot, and the clearances have been very poor as well. So they've constantly been giving the ball away. So it's not so much going to a back 5 that would resolve the issue. For me, they've got to stop giving the ball away. They're giving the ball away way too much. And Arsenal are able to pick up. Arsenal have really been good all season at picking up the garbage. Seriously, all the loose balls, all of the deflections and the 50-50s, they've been really good at picking that up. And West Ham have just been second to almost every ball, but they're not helping themselves. They're giving the ball away on the edge of the penalty area. They're giving the ball away in midfield. They're not creating anything. They're not pressing Arsenal when they do have possession. So it's, for me right now, I don't think going to a back 5 would make any difference at all. I think the only thing that they can try to do now is stop giving the ball away. And maybe get some possession, keep the ball for a while. Maybe do what Arsenal did at the beginning of the game, just keep the ball for a while, get confident in possession, and I think that's the best option for them. Like I said, I have no idea what... I mean, this game is over, Ross. This game is done. There's no way back for West Ham now. There's the only thing that they can do at this stage now is to try to keep it respectable.
Yes, absolutely, Paul. If Arsenal continue like they did in the first half, it could end up being double figures by the end of the game, really, couldn't it? That's in my opinion, anyway. I don't know what you think about that, Paul.
Well, I mean, it could have been 7. It could have been 7, really, with the chances that Arsenal have had. It really could have been. And if it wasn't for Areola, who made a fine save, of course. Now, it looks like Calvin Phillips is coming on. Mavropanos is also coming on. So I'll just take over from here, Ross.
Yes, just one quick one, Paul, before you do take back over to the second half. Mikel Arteta will be obviously the happy of the 2 managers. I can't see him making any changes just yet. Probably around about an hour more. Probably rest some of his players out of the next game. Probably when Arsenal probably change things, in my opinion. But anyway, back to the second half then. And back over to your match commentator for that second half coverage of West Ham against Arsenal. It's Paul James.
Thank you, Ross. Welcome back, everybody. And yes, double substitution, as I just mentioned. Konstantinos Mavropanos and Calvin Phillips are on for West Ham. Kurt Zouma and Edson Alvarez are the 2 players that make way. Arsenal, well, obviously they remain unchanged. I don't see them making too many changes at this stage. It's basically like for like. Konstantinos Mavropanos for Kurt Zouma, Phillips for Alvarez, as West Ham get the second half underway. They are attacking the goal to our left in what is now a very, very empty stadium. And the ball is played forward now there, and it's picked up by Mavropanos, who plays the ball forward now to Ben Johnson. Johnson just drops the ball back, and it goes all the way back to Mavropanos again, and he plays the ball back to Edouard. Edouard just plays the ball into the centre circle, but again they've been dispossessed, and here is Odegaard, and Odegaard just tried to play it past Leandro Trossard, but good work by Mavropanos. Now he plays the ball to Jared Bowen now. Jared Bowen breaking forward for West Ham, gets in the penalty area, right-hand side, gets the cross in, but there is nobody there. it's cleared away now. And here is Kai Havertz for Arsenal. He goes down the left-hand side to Gabriel Martinelli, corner of the penalty area now. Martinelli tries to pull the ball back to Leandro Trossard, and that was a good opportunity for Trossard. That very well could have been 5. And once again, West Ham's defence melts one more time as Trossard this time balloons the ball over the crossbar. And, it could have been 8 or even 9 in this game so far. I honestly think West Ham was so far lucky to get away with 4 as the ball is cleared downfield and hooked out of play by William Saliba, and the throw-in will be taken quickly by Emerson. Leandro Trossard really doing a wonderful job for Arsenal today as well, and that goal really was a peach of a goal as the ball is now gone out of play. James Ward-Prowse unable to keep the ball in play. And it's going to be a throw-in to Arsenal, about 10 yards inside the West Ham half of the field. And we've had 2 minutes gone in the second half. West Ham United 0, Arsenal 4. And if you're just joining us now, you've missed the demolition job in the first half. And here is Gabriel. Gabriel gets the ball back off Declan Rice. He's just unable to control it. But he picks the ball up, does Gabriel, just outside his own penalty area. He plays the ball down the left-hand side, looking for Declan Rice. But Declan Rice is dispossessed now, and here comes Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson gets the cross in, but it's a comfortable save, really, for David Raya. He just puts the ball out of the air. And Arsenal on the break quick with Martin Odegaard down to Bukayo Saka. Bukayo Saka, he's got Ben White overlapping. He finds Ben White in the penalty area. Good challenge that time by Emerson. But it's picked up this time again by Bukayo Saka down the right-hand side. Given to Ben White again. White chips the ball in. He was looking for Martinelli. It's headed out, but only as far as Bukayo Saka. Saka, corner of the penalty area, right-hand side. He swings the ball in, and there's a header from Martinelli. And it's wide again, and a goal kick to West Ham. As West Ham's trying to start positively in the second half. They got the ball down the flanks a couple of times, a couple of crosses, but nobody really pushing into the penalty area, taking that chance. And it's now now a throw-in to Arsenal. And Areola's clearance was a poor one. Here's Ben White. He gives the ball to Martin Odegaard down the right-hand side. Odegaard gives the ball to Saka. Arsenal continue just to press relentlessly. Trossard to Saka, corner of the penalty area, right-hand side. It's back to Odegaard again. And it's now with Havertz with a shot, and it just whistles wide as Arsenal continue to pepper the West Ham goal. And this time, Kai Havertz coming close. About 22 yards out. Well, if it was on target, it would have beaten Areola, but it was just the wrong side of the post as far as the German is concerned. And it's a goal kick for West Ham. Areola, right-footed, downfield. Just over the halfway line. Header won comfortably there again by Kai Havertz. And the ball now is picked up by Saliba. Inside the centre circle, over the halfway line, Saliba. He gives the ball down the right-hand side to Ben White. Ben White drops the ball back to Odegaard. Odegaard to Ben White. White has got options in the middle. He goes long over to the left-hand side. It was a very, very desperate kind of a ball, really. He was never going to find Trossard, and it was just headed back to the goalkeeper by Mavropanos. And Mavropanos now has the ball, and he clears the ball long upfield, and it's won there by Gabriel, but he only finds Kudus. Kudus drops the ball back to Souček. And here's Calvin Phillips in the centre circle for West Ham. He goes down the right-hand side, and he finds Souček. And here's Kudus. Drops the ball back to Johnson. Back to Phillips. Phillips has got options forward there. And it's now with Aguerd. And back to Phillips. And here's Ward-Prowse. Gives the ball to Emerson down the left-hand side. Emerson drops the ball back into his own half to Aguerd as West Ham just keeping possession now. Phillips tries the long, hopeful ball. He was looking for Bowen, but it's headed out there by Kiwior, but only as far as Kudos. Kudos now tries to play the ball through. Wins the ball again, does Kudos. Kudos gets a shot away, but it's blocked by Rice. Comes back to Johnson, but it's blocked again by Rice. And now Arsenal can come forward and Havertz. Oh, he was almost dispossessed there. But the ball was won back by Rice, who gives it to Trossard. Trossard skipping away there. Skipping away from Bowen. And, well, he's just not able to get away from Calvin Phillips, who gets a touch out of play. And it's going to be a throw-in for Arsenal. And it's right on the halfway line, and it's going to be taken by Kiwior on the far side. West Ham United 0, Arsenal 4 at the London Stadium. And it's now with Martin Odegaard to Kiwior. Plays the ball forward, and it's just headed there by Calvin Phillips, and it's won by Kudos. And here's Souček. Souček, oh, he was looking for Bowen, but not able to find him. Now Arsenal can come forward with Martin Odegaard. Declan Rice to Odegaard. And down the right-hand side, he's got White and Saka. Here's Saka. Saka's got White overlapping. He's going to go back to Odegaard, though, who drops it back to Saliba. Saliba to Declan Rice. And to Gabriel. Good ball by Kiwior. The halfway line there to Havertz. And here's Martinelli. Martinelli back to Declan Rice. Inside his own half here is the number 2, Saliba, and he gives the ball to Odegaard to Bukayo Saka. Bukayo Saka finds Leandro Trossard. He's about 30 yards out here. Trossard, is he going to have a shot? He decided, he was looking for Ben White. I think he was focusing across the shot there. He was thinking of shooting, but I think he was also thinking of passing to Ben White. In the end, he does neither, and the ball goes behind for a goal kick. You are listening to Alternative Commentary on the Commentary Hub YouTube channel. Today's Player of the Match sponsor on the Hub is sponsored by Commentary Services. And Commentary Services would like to thank our broadcasting partners for this season, JB Sports, Focus on Football, and Storm FM. Don't forget you can follow us on Twitter at Commentary Live 1, and you can like our Facebook page at facebook.com/The Commentary Hub. Here's Kudos now for West Ham, coming forward. Oh, he beats 2 there, but is not able to get away from Declan Rice. But Declan Rice is dispossessed by Jared Bowen. Jared Bowen down the right-hand side now. He's got options available. He's got Kudos alongside him. He plays it to Kudos, corner of the penalty area. He plays it to the opposite corner of the penalty area on the left-hand side to Emerson. Emerson pulls the ball into the middle there to Calvin Phillips. Now down to Mavropanos. This is the best bit of possession West Ham have had in the entire game. Kufal. And he gives the ball to Bowen. Bowen to Souček. To Kufal. Kufal moving in from the touchline on the right-hand side. We have got a comment in the comment section. I'm going to read it out in a moment, but for now, here is Souček. And he gives the ball back there to Mavropanos, who plays the ball to Aguerd. Comment in the comment section by Joe Smoke. Seems that Arsenal are having a lucky day. No, there's no lucky day here, Joe. This is a dominant performance by Arsenal, which very well the score could be double. And here's Declan Rice. 18 attempts on West Ham's goal, 7 on target. Only 3 attempts on goal for West Ham. And here's Bukayo Saka. Saka gives the ball to Trossard. Back to Saka. Can Saka? Oh, good challenge that time by Emerson. Good work by him, stopping Saka in his tracks. And it's cleared away by Aguerd and picked up by Jared Bowen. He's heading towards his own goal. He'll turn now inside his own half as he gives the ball to Mavropanos for West Ham. Mavropanos over the halfway line. Drops the ball there to Kufal, who gives the ball there to Johnson. And options available here for West Ham as it's with Aguerd. And Mavropanos back to Aguerd. Aguerd down the near side. The ball played forward by Emerson, and it's won back by Declan Rice. Declan Rice now plays it to Kai Havertz. He's got options in front of him, left and right. It's a poor pass, and it's comfortably won by Calvin Phillips. And now, here comes Ben Johnson, gives it to Kudos. Can West Ham create something on the break? It's with Ward-Prowse. He drops it back into his own half to Emerson. Emerson again. Gives the ball to Calvin Phillips. That's a long, hopeful ball looking for Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson's gone down, and he's clutching his throat there, Ben Johnson. I hope he's okay. He's still down at the moment. Ben Johnson is getting to his feet. Let's just have a look there. It looks like he caught a knock in the throat. Yes, just a stray elbow there. And let's take a look at this again. Yes, just a stray elbow there by Gabriel. He's okay, Ben Johnson. No, fortunately, he's on his feet. And David Raya has the ball in his hands. And he drops it to William Saliba. Saliba back to the Arsenal goalkeeper, David Raya. Just looking for options. He goes to Gabriel. Gabriel, scorer of the third goal for Arsenal. The header. Here he is now, Gabriel. And he goes back to the goalkeeper there, does Jakub Kiwior. And Arsenal just holding on to possession at the moment is Martin Odegaard. He plays the ball forward. He finds Leandro Trossard now. Leandro Trossard goes down the right-hand side to Bukayo Saka. As Arsenal come forward again, here's Martinelli. Drops it back to Bukayo Saka. To Odegaard. He's about 30 yards out. Odegaard slips the ball through. It's dropped off to Bukayo Saka. Bukayo Saka still has it. Gets a shot away. It's a good save. And it bounces loose to Jakub Kiwior, but he's not able to control it. As Arsenal once again forcing a save out of Areola, who's had an abundance of work to do today. And it's now back with Declan Rice. Declan Rice back on the halfway line as Arsenal just controlling this game inside and out. Here's Martin Odegaard. He's fouled that time by Kudos, and it's going to be a free kick inside the centre circle. But this is a good pass by Odegaard. Slipped through to Martinelli, who laid it off for Bukayo Saka, who beat 3 West Ham players before getting the shot away. And, well, it's just been that sort of a day, hasn't it? Everything just seems to be falling for Arsenal today. Here is Martin Odegaard. Leandro Trossard to Havertz, corner of the penalty area, right-hand side to Ben White. Back to Trossard. Can he get into the penalty area? He pulls the ball across to Odegaard. Odegaard back through to Havertz. Back through to Martinelli. It was nearly 5 then, goodness me. Martin Odegaard pulls the ball across and it's cleared away by Souček, but only back as far as Odegaard on the right-hand side. Now he finds Ben White. And here's Martinelli now. Pulled back to the edge of the area and Kai Havertz. Well, West Ham win the ball back. And Calvin Phillips now coming forward on the break for West Ham. And that's a good interception and one back by Bukayo Saka as West Ham turn the ball over once again. And here's Declan Rice. Declan Rice gives the ball to Odegaard just over the halfway line. Odegaard just turns away from Phillips and he gives the ball to Ben White, who drops it back to Gabriel. Gabriel, we've had almost an hour gone here at the London Stadium. It is still West Ham United 0, Arsenal 4. We're overdue a goal, I think. It's now Declan Rice who plays the ball across there to William Saliba. And he gives the ball to Martin Odegaard. Now he gives it to Ben White. Odegaard just sends the ball back to Saliba, who gives it to Declan Rice. There's a quick 1-2 with Ben White. Excuse me. Here is Gabriel, who plays the ball down the right-hand side to Leandro Trossard. Trossard to Saka. Saka back to White. White is dispossessed, but he's alleged to have been fouled by Calvin Phillips, and it will be a free kick. Ben White will just get himself to his feet. And it really is a solemn atmosphere at the London Stadium right now. Arsenal fans obviously very happy, but West Ham fans certainly not. And Martin Odegaard now gives it to Declan Rice. Back to Ben White. Ben White goes all the way back to William Saliba. Across to Gabriel. Gabriel back to Ben White as Arsenal now just passing the ball around. And the ball is given away by Leandro Trossard, and West Ham have the ball back, and it's with Aguerd inside his own half. He gives the ball to Mavropanos. Mavropanos finds Ben Johnson, surrounded by 3 Arsenal players. That's a good ball back to Mavropanos. Mavropanos, edge of the penalty area, right-hand side is almost dispossessed. He's under pressure by, he was mugged really by 2 or 3 Arsenal players, but he still maintains possession very well, but he's alleged to have committed a foul there, and it's a free kick to Arsenal. Media, radio, jingles and gaming said it seems like Hahnemann's lucky day too. Yeah, well, I mean, it certainly is. Everything seems to be going so well for Arsenal right now, but nobody can deny that they don't deserve it. They really have been outstanding today, and West Ham, on the other hand, well, they've really been quite poor, as Declan Rice is moving very, very gingerly right now. Looks like he might have picked up a knock. Arsenal can't afford to have him out for any length of time. It's now with David Raya, and he gives the ball to Gabriel. Gabriel to Kyria. Kyria plays the ball forward. That's Martinelli who plays it back to Kyria. Martinelli moves towards the middle of the park, and he gives it back to Declan Rice on the edge of his own penalty area. Arsenal moving forward again, and here's Ben White. Ben White finds Saka. He's got options ahead of him. He finds Martinelli down the right. Kyria down the left-hand side. Kyria under pressure. He drops the ball back to Kai Havertz. It's now back for Leandro Trossard. He's looking for options available. Now he finds Declan Rice. And here is Martin Odegaard forward to Bukayo Saka inside the penalty area. He turns to Saka, gets the shot away, and it's 5-0. Bukayo Saka with his second goal of the game. And it is a superb goal, a superb move by Arsenal. It's 5-0. And this game now, if it wasn't before, certainly it's now, is out of West Ham's reach by a long, long way. And now this. Well, you can see Bukayo Saka. He gets the ball off Martin Odegaard. Of course, he's going to get an assist on this. He gets in the penalty area. 2 West Ham players around him. He pulls away from Aguerd and strikes a shot in the left-hand corner. Areola didn't even move. It's 5-0. And, well, what do you say to this? As Bukayo Saka celebrates his second goal of the game. It's his 8th goal of the season. He really has been absolutely fantastic for Arsenal all season long, and he's been brilliant today. He really has been a real threat down that right-hand side, as we see more West Ham fans now leaving the stadium. I think their afternoon is done. As here's Martinelli, he just drops it back to Gabriel. 5-0 to Arsenal with 63 minutes gone, and David Moyes' face, well, you have to feel sorry for him. I mean, yes, the manager does take the blame in situations where a team is performing badly, but the players on the pitch have just let him down today for West Ham. They've been very poor, constantly giving the ball away. There's been no press on Arsenal. They've been allowed to maintain possession for long periods of time. And there is Martinelli. He just drops it back there to Saliba. Saliba gives it to Ben White, to Odegaard. Odegaard under pressure from Calvin Phillips, as finally some pressure is put on that Arsenal players when they have possession. Odegaard finds a really good ball to Havertz. Havertz to Bukayo Saka now. Bukayo Saka plays the ball to Martinelli. He just pulls back Martinelli. He pulls the ball back to Ben White. Ben White back to the edge of the area to Odegaard. It just skips by him and jump. What a strike from Declan Rice. He's 6-0, and Arsenal are absolutely capping this off with a fantastic performance. This is football. This is, this is like boys in Brazil. What a strike from Rice. That was sensational. And now this. Well, let's take a look. I'm going to look at this again. It's pulled back by. It's all of a good 30 to 35 yards out, and you just look at this again. If you're not watching the pictures, I want you to watch this later on. He just curls away past Areola into the right-hand corner. wherever you get your highlights from, please watch this later. It's really worth the investment of your time. What a strike. It just curls away from Areola. It's 6-0. And this has been an absolutely sorry day for West Ham United. And, well, you have to wonder what response they will provide as the stadium empties. And I think Declan Rice is now going off, I think. And he's getting some applause from the West Ham fans, because he is a former West Ham player, of course. We've got a double substitution coming up, I think, for Arsenal here. So let me take a look and see what's going on with this one. As Declan Rice has been sensational, certainly a candidate for player of the match. He's scored twice. He scored once and had an assist twice. So Mohamed Elneny is on. Leandro Trossard is off. So we're just going to get all of these substitutions for you in a moment, once they are announced officially. So Declan Rice's goal is the 6th goal of the season. And I'm just waiting for the pictures to announce the substitutes here. Should at least see who's gone off. And it also looks like Bukayo Saka has gone off. Declan Rice and Leandro Trossard are the three that have gone off. So Bukayo Saka, Declan Rice, and Leandro Trossard are off. I'm just waiting to see who's coming on. One of them is Mohamed Elneny. They haven't announced it yet, so I'm just going to try and have a look here and get that information for you. Here we go. So Saka, Trossard, and Rice are off. And Nelson, Nketiah, and Elneny are on. So Mohamed Elneny has made his first appearance now for Arsenal this season, and it's obviously a good opportunity for him now, as Mikel Arteta satisfied with the work that has been done, and Arsenal will can perhaps rest these players now that they'll need for their next game. And Arsenal's next game is Nottingham Forest away. Sorry, that's West Ham, I apologise. Arsenal's next game is Burnley away. So a pity to say what they're going to do to Burnley if this is what they've done for West Ham. As Reece Nelson gives the ball to Odegaard. Odegaard drops it to Nketiah. Nketiah drops the ball to Nelson again. Nketiah back to Odegaard. Odegaard tries to play the ball. It's a poor ball by Odegaard, and now Souček can clear it downfield. Ooh, a factoring collision there with Jared Bowen. And it was a shoulder that Saliba is trying to say. But Bowen gets onto his feet, and I'm not sure if the referee has given a free kick here. He's getting complaints. He has given the free kick, and it's getting complaints from Calvin Phillips over it, who wants the referee to take further action. 6-0, you're not seeing things. It is 6-0. And we have 21 minutes left. It's time for more goals. The free kick is going to be taken by James Ward-Prowse. It's about 8 yards inside the Arsenal half of the field, just left of centre. It's launched into the penalty area. Mavropanos just getting on the end of it. Souček plays the ball down to Kufal. Kufal tries to get the cross in, but that's a good block by Gabriel. Gabriel is an Arsenal player down. And Russ said his prediction is a 7-6 win for West Ham United. Well, you know, Russ, illusions are wonderful things, so they say. But looking at this, just see Arsenal plays on that's Gabriel Martinelli. And the referee has in fact awarded a free kick. So while we're waiting for this to be taken, I'll just complete my marketing. Sponsored by Commentary Services. And Commentary Services would like to thank our broadcasting partners for this season, JB Sports, Focus on Football, and Storm FM. And don't forget you can follow us on Twitter at Commentary Live 1, and you can like our Facebook.com you can like our Facebook page at facebook.com /the commentary hub. And here's Martin Odegaard now. He sprays it down the left-hand side, looking for Martinelli. That's headed out that time by Kufal. And here's Emerson now. He plays the ball to Johnson. Johnson lifts the ball forward as coming forward now, West Ham with Souček. Souček, he's not able to find the pass. And once again, Arsenal can come forward now with Martin Odegaard. As they're pressing for a 7th. They're still not done. Martin Odegaard gets to the edge of the penalty area. Gets to the byline. He pulls it right back to Elneny with a shot. And it's into the arms of the goalkeeper, Areola. So Elneny having a strike there. And Areola now has the ball in his hands. And he's going to play the ball downfield as the London Stadium begins to empty more and more with this. As there will be an investigation, I suspect, at West Ham. Really to post-mortem to try to find out what went wrong today. Well, to me, the players just haven't been on the ball today. They haven't really functioned well as West Ham. They've looked very much second best, and they've just given the ball away too many times. Here is James Ward-Prowse, and he gives the ball across to Mavropanos. Mavropanos drops the ball back to the goalkeeper Areola. And it is Areola who gives the ball now to Ward-Prowse. Ward-Prowse to Mavropanos. 18 minutes to go here at the London Stadium. It's West Ham United 0, Arsenal 6. And here is Calvin Phillips. Phillips plays the ball long, looking for Kudus. That's won by Kyria, and he heads it down to Martinelli, who's under pressure by Jared Bowen. Kudus wins it again. He gives the ball to Bowen. He's got Johnson in the middle. Oh, that's a good block. There by Kyria, and it's a throw in to West Ham, and it's thrown to Kudus. Kudus has got Kufel overlapping. He might swing this in, does Kudus, and up in the air to claim it there is David Raya, as he's had so little to do today, and he releases it now to Martin Odegaard. Odegaard plays the ball in the centre circle to Elneny. Elneny gives the ball to Ben White. Ben White back to Elneny. And Elneny is inside the centre circle, and he plays the ball across to Kyria, back to Martin Odegaard. And Odegaard to Martinelli, as Arsenal just holding the ball up here, as it's Havertz now. Back to down to Martinelli, down the left-hand side, corner of the penalty area. Martinelli is pulled into Nketiah with a shot, and it's a comfortable save by Areola down to his left-hand side, as Arsenal continue to pick holes in this West Ham defence. That they just haven't been at the races today, West Ham, at all. Here is Emerson. He dropped the ball back to Aguerd. Aguerd plays the ball forward. That's a good challenge by Saliba. It's headed down by Havertz, who gives it to Reiss Nelson, and back to Havertz. Nelson is down. Is the referee given a free kick? It looks like he has. Going to be a free kick for the foul on Reiss Nelson. Aguerd not happy with that, but it is a free kick, and it's in a pretty dangerous position. Right-hand side, about 25 yards out, I would argue. Standing over this one is Martin Odegaard. And he's also got Gabriel alongside him, as West Ham pushing for a high line here. As we approach 15 minutes to go at the London Stadium. West Ham United 0, Arsenal 6, as West Ham, action on the West Ham bench. Cresswell is about ready to come on for the Hammers. I'm pretty sure he doesn't want to come on, but here's Odegaard who swings this one in, and there's a pull over there. I mean, the VAR may look at that. It looked like Kyria was pulled over there. And here's Martinelli, who's fouled that time, surely. And it's going to be a free kick. But it looked like Jakub Kyria was pulled over there. I want to just have a look at that again. And the yellow card has been brandished at Mohamed Kudus. Was indeed. And 75 minutes gone as Martinelli goes down under the challenge from Kudus. It was a late tackle. And worthy of a yellow card. And Creswell is now on. Let's see who has replaced. Emerson is off for Aaron Creswell. So that is West Ham's third substitution. As we are going to see this free kick taking place. No further check on VAR on that incident in the penalty area. Looked like he was pulled over, but VAR decided not to look at that. As more West Ham fans leave, and the free kick is going to be taken on the left-hand side, corner of the penalty area by the touchline. Looks like it's Gabriel over this. As Arsenal are going to make a double substitution themselves. Ethan Nwaneri is coming on. Ethan Nwaneri, it's his, I think it's his first appearance of the season, and it's definitely Cedric Suarez's first appearance of the season as he is coming on. White and Martinelli are coming off as they continue to rest players. Arsenal complete their 5 allotted substitutes with Martinelli and Ben White coming off for Cedric Suarez and Ethan Nwaneri. As Arsenal will take the free kick here, over by the touchline, and Gabriel is over this one as he's going to swing this one into the penalty area. The referee just waiting for things to be organised. It's swung in by Gabriel, heads go up, but it's Kufal who gets a header on it, and this is Ben Johnson, and he's fouled. Be a free kick to West Ham. And Arsenal can be very satisfied with their day's work today. And, well, I have a player of the match to pick in about 10 minutes' time. I've narrowed it down to 2 names. And I will announce that in about 10 minutes' time. As Ben Johnson now gives the ball to the number 11, Phillips. But it's cleared away by Arsenal. And here's Martin Odegaard. And the number 29 for Arsenal, Kai Havertz. And Havertz is fouled. It'll be a free kick. So the free kick will be taken about midway inside the Arsenal half of the field. It's taken quickly as Nwaneri now has it. And it's back with Nwaneri. And he has the ball again. Just getting a couple of early touches. The ball is now with Suarez, who gets his first touch as an Arsenal player this season in the Premier League. And it's with Mohamed Elneny. Elneny plays the ball forward, and he finds Kai Havertz now. Havertz drops the ball back to Kyria. Kyria forward to Eddie Nketiah. Nketiah is also dangerous. He's got 5 goals this season, Nketiah. And he now finds Odegaard to Nwaneri. Nwaneri now, chance to see what he can do. Corner of the penalty area, right-hand side. Drops the ball back to Odegaard. And it's now with Suarez. Suarez back to Odegaard and then Nwaneri. Back to Odegaard one more time. And it's knocked back by William Saliba. Saliba just goes all the way back to David Raya in the Arsenal goal. And he plays it to Martin Odegaard. Odegaard plays the ball through the middle to Eddie Nketiah. He drops the ball back to Kyria. Down on the right-hand side there. And Reece Nelson, who just seems to have switched over there for the moment. Reece Nelson is fouled that time. And it's going to be a free kick for the foul by Mavropanos on Reece Nelson. Those West Ham fans that are remaining do not look impressed in the slightest. And here's Martin Odegaard. Odegaard gives the ball to Nwaneri, just over the halfway line, right-hand side. Nwaneri back to Odegaard. Odegaard now looking for options available. That's a good ball to Nketiah. Nketiah drops the ball back to Kyria and Elneny. And here is Martin Odegaard. Back to Nwaneri again. Back to Nketiah. Edge of the penalty area, left-hand side. Gives the ball to Nwaneri. Can he get the cross in? Oh, he pulled it back, but there was nobody there. And finally, Souček clears the ball. And it was looking for Jared Bowen, but Arsenal just win the ball back very comfortably as Jared Bowen, being the lone man up front, has had zero support really all the game. And here's Havertz. He gives the ball to Nwaneri. Back to Martin Odegaard. Odegaard turns away there from Calvin Phillips, and he gives the ball to Reiss Nelson. Nelson finds Nwaneri. Nwaneri to Havertz. Havertz in the penalty area, pulled across to Nwaneri, to Reiss Nelson. It's back to Nwaneri again. Back to Mohamed Elneny with a shot, but it's over the crossbar. As Arsenal still not finished, still looking for goals, but it's 6-0 with 9 minutes to play. Excuse me. And the goal kick now for Areola, as Mikel Arteta looking very relaxed and comfortable with this victory. It's flicked on by Kudus to Bowen. Bowen now goes down the right-hand side. He's trying to beat Gabriel, but Gabriel equal to it. Bowen pulls back though, and he plays the ball to Kudus. Can Kudus get a cross in here? And he doesn't, and it's blocked. And Bowen gets a shot away, and it takes a deflection and goes wide. And Arsenal gives high fives all round. They're not just looking for the six, they're looking for the clean sheet. And Bowen here gave it to Kudus. Kudus, who pulls it back, took a deflection then from a shot from Bowen, also off the goalkeeper. As it's going to be a corner to West Ham United. And standing over it is Ward-Prowse and Jared Bowen. Ward-Prowse and Jared Bowen, who's going to take it? I would suspect it might. Bowen may be better in the middle, seeing as he's West Ham's leading scorer. But Bowen is going to take it. He swings it in. It's go up, but so does David Raya, who plucks it out the air. And he releases it quickly. And on the off to the races now is Nwaneri. And clatters into Calvin Phillips. And it looks like it's going to be a free kick for the foul on Nwaneri by Phillips. Phillips getting a talking to by referee Craig Pawson. As we've got just 6 minutes to go at the London Stadium. It's West Ham United 0, Arsenal 6, and here's Nwaneri. Nwaneri, corner of the penalty area, right hand side, gives it to Odegaard. And across to Havertz, and Reiss Nelson now have a chance to hold across. But Eddie Nketiah couldn't get the touch in now. It's crossed in again. And it's picked up there by Kudus, and he's fouled by Kiwior. And a free kick to West Ham, but it's been put out of play by Jacob Kiwior, as once again, which has been really the story of West Ham's day. They've just given the ball away again. And here's Odegaard. Odegaard finds Havertz. Back to Odegaard. And he tries to play the ball to Havertz again, but he doesn't find him, and it's cleared away now. And Kudus trying to get away from Kiwior. And it's a free kick against the Arsenal defender. Excuse me. And you can see David Moyes there having a whinge. Well, for West Ham, it doesn't get any easier for them. They have a difficult trip to Nottingham Forest after this. One in which they will be desperately looking to turn this around, as the London Stadium now is probably about 40 to 50% empty. As just take a look. The ball is played forward, and it's picked up by Kufal. Kufal gives it to Kudus, but it goes off Kudus and goes out of play for a throw-in to Arsenal. There's 5 minutes left in this game, and very shortly I'll be naming my player of the match. The throw-in is taken by Kiwior, who gives it to Odegaard. Odegaard gives it back to Kiwior, who plays it all the way back to Raya. And he just releases it to Saliba, who gives the ball to Odegaard. Odegaard gives the ball to Suarez. Back to Odegaard. Elneny in the middle of the park here. Elneny just plays the ball out wide to Kiwior. Now back with Gabriel. And Gabriel gives it back to Saliba. Saliba looking for options available to Odegaard. Back to El Neni. Back to Odegaard. And back again, this time off Havertz. He gives the ball to Suarez down the right-hand side. Suarez back to Kai Havertz. And Suarez again. Back to El Neni as Arsenal just keeping possession now. Game management time for Arsenal. Here's Kyria. Gives the ball to Nelson. Back to El Neni. It's back now with Suarez. Suarez goes long down the left-hand side looking for Reiss Nelson, who's trying to get the better of Mavropanos. Reiss Nelson just turns away from Mavropanos. He's fouled. It's going to be a free kick, and Mavropanos doesn't agree with it, but it looks like he's not going to get any change out of Craig Pawson. And it's going to be a free kick, level with the Arsenal 6-yard, level with the West Ham 6-yard box, over by the touchline on the left-hand side. And it's going to be taken by Reiss Nelson. He's going to swing this one in. Arsenal looking for a 7th. Can they get one? It's Reiss Nelson now who's going to take it. And it's run into the box. Up and it just goes above his head and goes all the way over to the far side of the pitch, which Aguerd will try to clear, but it comes off Manry and goes out of play for a West Ham throw-in. Time to name... well, I'm going to name it very shortly, actually. I'm just going to send it to my producer, Ross. So I will be naming my player of the match in the next minute or two, I think. 71% possession for Arsenal, 25 attempts on goal. That's how dominant this performance has been by Arsenal. And 6-0 to the Gunners, and it's now with Ben Johnson. And Johnson plays the ball across the pitch to Kuthal. Kuthal just plays the ball there off Reiss Nelson, goes out of play for a throw into West Ham, and he gives it to Souček. Souček back to Kuthal, and he's got Kudus overlapping down the right-hand side. Is Kudus. He's got Kyria and El Neni in front of him. Kudus trying to get the cross in, and it's brought down by Gabriel and clearing the ball as it was a poor cross by Kudus. Didn't even beat the first man. And now Mavropanos plays the ball now down the right-hand side, looking for Kuthal. Gives the ball to Souček. Out of play there. It's going to be a throw into Arsenal. Well, we've got 1 minute left plus stoppage time. What West Ham won't want to see is 7 or 8 minutes of stoppage time. I don't think there will be in this second half. It's kind of flowed fairly quickly. Jakub Kyria is going to take the throw-in, level with his own penalty area. And we'll wait and see what stoppage time is announced at the end of this game, as we are in the last minute now of the 90, as Souček just goes down under pressure. The ball goes out of play again for for a free kick. Well, it's a free kick to Souček this time. The referee has blown and given the free kick to West Ham. It's about 18 yards inside the Arsenal half of the field. It's taken quickly by Ward-Prowse to Kudus. Kudus down the right-hand side. What can he do? Well, he's not able to beat Reiss Nelson, and the ball is now away. And here is Odegaard. We still don't know what stoppage time is being announced. We're waiting for the official to lift up his ball. Here's Suarez. The official is the fourth official, Graham Scott, is down there with the board in his hand. Here is El Neni. It's 3 minutes. 3 minutes stoppage time. And here's played by Nwaneri. To Eddie Nketiah, to Reiss Nelson. Oh, he's fouled surely there by Calvin Phillips. And this time the yellow card will come out. And we are going to name our player of the match right now. And I was going to choose between Bukayo Saka and Declan Rice. I've gone with Declan Rice because he's just been so effective in this game. He's almost been like a quarterback. He's had 2 assists. He's had a goal. And today, for me, the player of the match, sponsored by Commentary Services, goes to Arsenal's number 41, Declan Rice. And the free kick is now going to be taken over by the touchline, level with the West Ham penalty area by Reiss Nelson. and he is going to swing this one in. He's got one man in the, if you can call that a wall, it's Vladimir Kufal right there, but Reiss Nelson is going to swing this one in. And here it comes. It's a poor one. It's cleared away by James Ward-Prowse. As we tick down with 2 minutes of stoppage time left in what has been a demolition job, as Kufal has fouled Reiss Nelson, and it's going to be a free kick to the Arsenal. And you can, this really has been this has been the most dominant performance by Arsenal I've seen all season. They really have been quite brilliant today. Here's Mohamed El Neni, gives the ball to Nwanri. Nwanri drops the ball back to Mohamed El Neni, and he gives the ball to Gabriel, who plays it down the left-hand side to Jakub Kiwior. He's got Reiss Nelson alongside him. He dropped it off to Reiss Nelson. Nelson dropped it back to Mohamed El Neni and to Martin Odegaard. And Odegaard now picks up the ball midway inside the West Ham half of the field. He lifts the ball over, looking for Nketiah. Good work by Mavropanos, getting a header on that to block that. But it's gone back by Arsenal, and it's Kai Havertz inside the penalty area. Now it's back to Nwanri. Nwanri's ball forward, and a foul on Thomas Souček, and it's going to be a free kick to West Ham, and it's out to Kudus now. Kudus now coming forward for West Ham down the right hand side. He drops the ball back to Mavropanos, who is fouled there by Eddie Nketiah, and it's going to be a free kick as we've got about 30 seconds left. I don't envision the referee adding much more than 3 minutes on. I think West Ham would just want to get to the dressing room at this stage. And the free kick is going to be taken by Mavropanos. He launches it down the right-hand side, looking for Jared Bowen, who's surrounded by Gabriel. And Gabriel just putting Bowen under pressure. And Bowen is just trying to hold off Gabriel. And the ball is sprayed long now down this near side to Aaron Cresswell. He touched the ball since he's been on. He's got it now, but that is a full-time whistle. It is West Ham United 0, Arsenal 6. William Saliba opened the scoring on 32 minutes. A 40th minute penalty tucked away by Bukayo Saka with the second. Gabriel on 43 minutes, and a wonder strike by Leandro Trossard in stoppage time at the end of the first half made it 4. Bukayo Saka added his second on 62 minutes, and on 65 minutes, perhaps the best one of the lot, Declan Rice's strike made it 6-0. It's been a sobering day for the Hammers, and Arsenal have put to bed those last two defeats by West Ham in emphatic style. The title race is still on. Arsenal are still in it. It's West Ham 0, Arsenal 6. Back to you, Ross.
Thank you very much there to Paul James. Excellent coverage this afternoon as Arsenal into third, 52 points, 2 points behind Liverpool. Man City have got a game in hand though and could go top of the table if they win their game in hand. They sit second at the moment. Do Man City Liverpool top of the table going into the games. That's coming a bit later on in the games as well. A bit later on in the table. If we look at the table, at fifth place, Aston Villa take on Manchester United, who are in sixth. They will remain that way if Manchester United win. Although if Aston Villa win, they will climb into the top 4 with the Villains and put pressure on Arsenal, because they'll just be 3 points behind the Gunners going in if should they beat Manchester United at Villa Park this afternoon. Manchester United will remain in 6th, even if they do beat Aston Villa this afternoon, and Aston Villa will remain in 5th, even if they do lose to Manchester United. What a performance then from Arsenal. Media Radio, Jingles and Gaming says, now we all know this is one of Arsenal's best games of the season. There, he says. Let's just, before we get the thoughts of Paul James for the final time on this Arsenal performance and the overall game, let's take a look at some of the scores across the rest of the games taking place today in England and Scotland and across Europe, major leagues in Europe. Starting off in the Premier League. West Ham United 0, Arsenal 6, which you just heard of. 4:30 kick-off, Aston Villa versus Manchester United. In the Championship, Coventry City 2, Millwall 1. In the Premier League, English Premier League 2, which is the under-21s, Manchester City 3, Wolverhampton Wanderers 3. Liverpool 3, Stoke City 1 is the latest score in second half stoppage time. In the Women's FA Cup, Arsenal 0, Man City 1. Wolverhampton Wanderers 1, Brighton of Albion 4. Chelsea 1, Crystal Palace 0 is the latest score. In fact, that's just finished. Chelsea 1, Crystal Palace 0. London City Lionesses 0, Liverpool 2. Southampton 1, Manchester United 3. At 4 o'clock, so just about to kick off right now, Nottingham Forest take on Everton in the Women's FA Cup. In the French Ligue 1, Le Havre 0, Rennes 1. Clermont 1, Brest 1. Lorient 2, Reims 0. Toulouse 1, Nantes 2. 4 kick-off for Montpellier against Lyon, and Nice against Monaco is a 7:45 p.m. kick-off. In the German Bundesliga, Stuttgart 2, Mainz 0. There was a delay in the match. In that game, the game had to be delayed for quite a while. During the first half, which I'll try. It was an interruption. There was a tennis balls thrown onto the pitch by one of the supporters who were off the pitch for around about 10 minutes time. They're into the second half. They're now 56 minutes gone. That one initially kicked off at 2:30 this afternoon. At 4:30 is Hoffenheim against FC Cologne in the German Bundesliga. In the Italian Serie A, it finished Fiorentina 5, Cremonese 1, Bologna 4, Lecce 0, Monza 0, Hellas Verona 0. At 5 o'clock is Genoa against Atalanta, and at 7:45 is AC Milan against Napoli. In the Dutch Eredivisie, it finished Great Eagles 1, PEC Zwolle 1, Heerenveen 3, Ajax 2, SC Utrecht 4, Fortuna Sittard 0, and then after 17 minutes is FC Volendam 1, PSV Eindhoven 1. 7 o'clock kick-off for Feyenoord against Sparta Rotterdam. In the Scottish Premiership, Dundee 0, St Johnstone, Dundee 2, St Johnstone 1 into 12 minutes of stoppage time there, plus 12 minutes being played out. There was 8 added, but they've played over 12 minutes so far. 2-1 up on Dundee against St Johnstone in the Scottish Premiership. In the Scottish Cup, St Mirren 0, Celtic 2, and Edgerons against Arsenal is a 5 p.m. kickoff. In La Liga, Getafe 3, Celta Vigo 2, Real Mallorca 0, Vallecano 0 is at half time. 5:30 is Sevilla against Atletico Madrid, and Barcelona take on Granada at 8 o'clock in Spanish La Liga. And also a big good luck to Nigeria and our friends over Brilla FM who face Nigeria as Nigeria face Ivory Coast in the African Cup of Nations final. 8 o'clock kickoff for that one. So before we wrap up and bring you some still being played in the Premier League 2 game as it stands right now, still being played as well in the Scottish Premiership game as well. We'll bring you the results of those if we can get them in before we finish this evening, or this afternoon, or this morning, depending where you're tuned in from and what time of day it is for you right now. Well, let's just bring in our match commentator Paul James back with us, who's been watching the game between Arsenal and West Ham this afternoon. And Paul, has been a dominant performance from Arsenal today, and West Ham were never really in it. Arsenal comprehensive 6-0 winners. They could have had more though, couldn't they?
Oh, they absolutely could. They could have had, with the chances that they've had, they could have had 10. West Ham I've never seen a team play so poorly, if I'm being honest. In in a long, long time. I mean, the performance was absolutely terrible from West Ham. And unfortunately for the Hammers, the Arsenal performance was outstanding. And as media, radio, jingles, and gaming says, it was one of Arsenal's best performances of the season, if not the best. They were just unstoppable. And West Ham, well, they just kept giving the ball away. They kept turning the ball over in midfield. They were slow to the loose balls. The defending was poor. They didn't really create enough going forward. And at the end of the day, it was a demolition job in the end.
It was a demolition job in the end. We still waiting for confirmation of the result between Dundee in their game in the Scottish match against St Johnstone. We knew that as soon as we get confirmation of the full-time score there. But with West Ham then, Paul, it was a sorry day at the office, a bad day at the office, whichever you want to put it. But what do they need to do now to get back on track and to turn this result around?
Get back to work. Get back to work. They need to get back to work. They need to get back to the training ground and need to work harder to put it right. Their next game against Nottingham Forest is crucial for them now. They have to bounce back, and they have to bounce back strongly. They can't feel sorry for themselves. They can't be sitting there posting on social media, "Oh, I'm sorry to the fans. I'm sorry." No, the fans don't want to hear that. They want the players to put it right on the pitch, and that's what they've got to do.
Yes, a friend of the channel, Mike Orneman, and one of our colleagues, Paul, he's still in shock. He says Declan Rice, 2 assists and a goal on his return. You gave him the player of the match. He said Sek was up there as well. Why did you stop for Declan Rice over Bukayo Saka tonight?
Well, both were good. I mean, I probably could have flipped a coin and picked either one of them, but I just felt that Declan Rice had controlled much of the game in the midfield. His passing, his dead ball situations, and his goal was sensational. To me, he just had the edge, did Declan Rice, and I think he's largely responsible for Arsenal being where they are this season. He's superb in his passing accuracy. He's holding an accuracy, but despite the fact that he's made, over 1,400 passes, he's running at a 90% accuracy. He's incredible in the way that he plays, and he wins. He's very good at winning the ball back, and his passing stuff begins the Arsenal attack. Everything goes through Declan Rice at some point. If you watch Arsenal, everything. From when they break forward, it all goes through Declan Rice at some point.
It does indeed, and brilliant performance from Declan Rice today. And he was up there for, if I was to choose a man of the match, he would have been up there. But I don't think, Paul, like you did, I don't think he would have been able to narrow it down to just one player. There were so many good options that you could have picked today for Arsenal. I just couldn't believe how good the likes of Rice, Saka, Martinelli, Trossard, Odegaard were today. They were, even at the back as well, Gabriel, Saliba putting a decent performance. As well, Ben White played well in that first half and for the majority of the game until he went off as well. When Cedric come on, he played his part in the game as well. Jakub Kiwior, normally a centre-back by trade, playing left-back today. He had another fantastic game as well. And so he could have been going to any of those outfield players today.
Well, it could have been. There wasn't a single player on that Arsenal team that had a bad game. Not one single player. I could have given it to literally anybody, with a possible exception of the goalkeeper because he had nothing to do. But any one of those outfield players, I could have given it to. They were absolutely brilliant today, and they've got to take that form into their next few games if they want to maintain the title challenge and hope to goodness that Liverpool and Man City maybe slip up. That's a lot to ask, but they still have City to play, so they've got to make sure they beat them. They've also still got Chelsea and, of course, Tottenham still to play too. So at the moment it's difficult for Arsenal, but I think they have to win all the remaining games this season if they want to win the title. That's how, in my opinion, there's so little room for error now when you're chasing the Premier League title. It used to be that 70 points might be enough to win the title. Now, if you get maybe even 80, 90 points, it's sometimes not enough. Mike's just asked me how I'm feeling ahead of next week, Paul. 10-0. Oh, Mike. Well, you can probably double that, to be honest. It's if they go in playing like that, Arsenal, I wouldn't want to be in Burnley's shoes, to be honest. If they go in playing like that next week.
Yeah, Paul, as we know, we've got on private chat, and I put in there when the game was still being played, where he was still doing the commentary. The more figures for Arsenal next week, I think, and I put that to Mike, JB, and yourself. JB responded saying, the way Trafford keeps coming nowhere near the crosses, it will not surprise me, because he wasn't impressed with Trafford on that first Liverpool goal yesterday, JB. He said he came and got nowhere near it, and it was a free header for the first Liverpool goal. He did have a complaint on the second Liverpool goal, which I won't go into on X, because he accused some of the officials, including the VAR, into not being fit for purpose because of the team he supports. But we'll leave that to another day for us to talk about off-stream, Paul. But JB says it wouldn't surprise him if he was 10-0, the way Trafford keeps coming out for crosses, especially the way he did yesterday for some of the goals for Liverpool in that game against Burnley yesterday. But on today's performance, like I said, Paul, it could be 20-0. It could, to be honest, Paul, it could end up being 9. Could have been like 10, could even be 19 if Arsenal want to, if they convert the chances every single week. But Arsenal don't seem to convert the chances every single week. Sometimes they convert the chances, sometimes they miss a few. They missed a few today. Could have been 10-0 today for Arsenal if they really wanted. So it could be like today, they could have had more goals today and feel like next week, we should have more goals last week. Let's take it out on Burnley if we're not doing anything. But like Mike said there, it would be so Arsenal like to win the next 2 and score 9, then lose to Burnley 1-0 next week, or even draw 0-0. And that's what some Arsenal in the past, Mike, probably under Wenger or early parts of Arteta's reign. That's something that Arsenal would do. They'd win a couple of games out of done on the bounce, scoring 9 goals in the process, and then go up against a team where they're supposed to be beaten or should be beaten in the way of Burnley, for example, Paul, and end up losing 1-0 or drawing 0-0. It's the Arsenal way of the past, and under Arteta, the start and towards back end of Arsene Wenger's era as well at Arsenal, in my opinion, as well.
Well, I think for Arsenal, I said it to Mike yesterday, it might be worth trying Leandro Trossard through the middle. And I said that in our private chat to him. And it worked today, I think. I think it worked really well. I think whether Jesus is fit or not next week against Burnley, I think that Arsenal should play a completely unchanged side, because that really worked for Arsenal today.
Yes, and my saying is, and a lot of people saying this as well, and I can see where people are coming from. If you win a game, don't change the winning formula, because winning breeds confidence, and if you keep an unchanged side, it'll breed confidence as well. And Mike said today it worked very well, and I thought it did work very well. When I saw the team news come out, and I was thinking, who's going to start up front? Is it Havertz? So up front and Trossard in midfield? Like I know they've sometimes switched that way in games, and we're sure they're going to start that way and then switch mid-game like they sometimes do, or whether Trossard we're going to start there and switch mid-game like they've done today. That midfield 3 and then the front 3, you have fluidity for us. Anyone can switch in. Obviously, apart from that, so the other midfield 2, and the front 5. So take out Declan Rice, who just sits there and mobs at anything that comes his way. But the other 2 midfielders and the front 3, they can all interchange, and that's the difference for teams that don't know which player is going to pop up in a different position. Like sometimes, like I said, today looked as potentially at some parts a front 2, At times, it could be a front five at times. If you take out Declan Rice, it could be a front four. It could be a front three or a front one. That fluidity in that front line for Arsenal, if you take out Declan Rice and put him as toward more the defensive side of things, it could be that front five is more fluid for Arsenal now than, in my opinion, than when Gabriel Jesus is inside.
Well, I think they definitely took their chances today. They were a lot more efficient. Leandro Trossard is good in front of goal. And I think I definitely don't think they should be playing Kai Havertz through the middle. There's been plenty of managers for the national team that thought it was okay to play Kai Havertz through the middle. I mean, Joachim Löw tried it, and of course Hansi Flick tried it too. But it doesn't work because I don't think he's effective in that position. I think Mikel Arteta's got it right, playing him where he is on the left side of midfield. I think he's a lot more effective there.
Yes, absolutely. Thanks for your insight there and your input there on the Arsenal attack towards the end there, Paul. Thank you for your input as well, Mike, in the comments section on the channel on the channels this afternoon as well. Thank you very much to those listening on the Comment Job, JB Sports, Comment Job 2, Focus on Football, all on my personal Twitch channel as well, which is Russ P. Vernon _92. Thank you very much for your listening pleasures today. Thank you to those who have joined us today as well. And yes, Havertz did very, very well today, Mike. I do agree with that as well. Thank you for your comments in, as always, Mike. Thank you to Joe Smokes as well for coming in, and thank you to Media, Radio, Jingles and Gaming as well. Thank you very much for your contributions as always. Well, for myself, Russ, from Paul, from the rest of the team here at the Comment Job, just before we go, just want to say a big thank you to all our people that we've had on, not just this season, not just last season, but from when we first started 3 years ago. Yesterday, the Comment Job began our journey. 3 years ago yesterday, we began our journey, and we've just gone bigger and better. Thanks to those who have contributed from when we started right up until now, and just going on improving and better and better and better. Good to see some of our former colleagues and Matt Isles and a few of us moving on to bigger things away from us and into mainstream media for club TV channels and national TV channels as well on the EFL. So good to see that happening, and hopefully we get more of that in the near future as well. But from myself, Russ, from Paul, from Mike, from Barry, from the team behind the scenes, thank you very much to everybody for joining. From myself and Mike and Barry behind the scenes, thank you to everybody who's contributed towards the channel so far, whether you've been on the guest pundits as well, like Justin Oit's been on. Thank you to all those as well. And thank you to you, the listeners. Because if it wasn't for you, there would be no point in doing this. Thank you very much for listening, and we'll see you again soon. Take care. Have a good rest of your Sunday. Bye-bye for now.